in there at one time, too.
The 3 for me, only at Chili's, keeps getting even better with the all-new Big QP and all this for just $10.99. With 85% more beef, it makes a quarter-pound burger look tiny and, well, yeah, tiny. This Chili's 3 for me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
Online security is, like, as a mom, one of the very highest priorities. There's so many things that we have to watch out for. With Spectrum, I don't have to worry about it. I know when my kids are on their devices, they are protected.
Oh, you were in the
always sitting right next to them.
You were in the chat before I went live. I forget that you can do that. Or can you? I don't even know how you do that. Because you'd be able to do that if I like scheduled it. But I don't know. I don't know. What is up, motherfuckers and party people? How the hell is everybody doing today? Hope everybody's having a great fucking day. Concrete Carl. Yes, we love Concrete Carl.
This kind of fun.
Today we have the Cracker Barrel 400, where a bunch of crackers will be driving around a racetrack for 400 miles.
Let the games begin. Nintendo Switch 2 altogether. Anytime, anywhere. Rated E for everyone.
The 3 for me, only at Chili's, now serves up the all-new Big QP for just $10.99. And that's
I'm excited for this race. Earlier there was some rain in the forecast. It looks like it's all moved out. I don't think we'll have any real weather threats.
More speed, more action, more drama, more emotions, and more adrenaline. This is NASCAR. Real contact.
Looking at the radar right now.
A unique experience without limits.
Yeah, it looks good.
Going down at the Autodrome.
Looks like we'll be able to get a whole race in.
Feel the energy. Feel the intensity. Get your tickets now at NASCARMexico.com.
Welcome back to Nashville. New deals are dropping now on Shop the Race.
Now,
Shop the Race on the Amazon mobile shopping app.
On AccuWeather, it says around 9. Which would be around 10, I think.
Concrete oval on the schedule.
Actually, I don't know if they're using Central Time on this app or not.
Joy, you were in that race. How did this all go down?
Here, I could just look at it.
Crazy and record setting.
Buddy, it was a doozy because when the caution came out,
yeah, no, it is. Yeah, so around like 10 actually, but 9 Central Time. Says there'll be like lightning, but I don't know. I just work here. But yeah, I'm excited for tonight's race. I got some pizza.
Sustained some right front damage. You see the 11, the 19 coming down with some fuel. They're out of the race. Here's the 22. Taking the lead from Chase Briscoe. I'm in a pretty good spot. Third overtime here. My right front's knocked off. I'm out of the race, but no, he's not. Joey Logano, because he's still leading this thing. Fifth and final overtime. Joey Logano takes it out front, and when he's in the lead, you cannot get it away from him. And the 22 punches his ticket to the playoffs, and ultimately we saw what happened. Joey Logano, Paul Wolf take that 22 to the promised land and win the championship.
How do you stretch fuel that far? And can someone do it again tonight? Hey, maybe it's going to be this guy. Joining us now, your Rookie of the
Year.
Season and driver of the number 77 Spire Motorsports Chevrolet.
How's he be able to be up here this close to like pre-race ceremonies?
I've been looking forward to meeting you all weekend.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm happy to be here, Carl. It's very nice to meet you. I was a big fan of yours back in the day, for sure. But yeah, it was super fun to obviously have a really good run last week, but we've been fast all year so far.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this because as I watch and talk to people, and like she said, this is the first time we've met, I hear two things. Super fast, super aggressive. What am I not hearing? What does Carson Hocevar want to tell a guy like me who wants to know more about you, your goals, what motivates you? Teach me.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I race for Jeff Dickerson, but ultimately, before I got to the sport, I've always heard so many people when they're late in their career, they have a lot of regret or wish they were more aggressive or wish, they always hear they paid their dues, but man, I could have won this race. And the first time I got to drive a cup car was, I had about 3 days notice and I didn't know if I'd ever sit in one again. And the only scared I was to be slow because I wanted to go 100%. And just know I had everything. If that was my only opportunity, I could go to bed and be done with my racing career knowing I gave 100%. And super thankful that I've been able to kind of harnessed that a little bit.
Stage breakdown for tonight's race. It's a 300 lap race, 400 miles. Stage 1 is 90 laps. Stage 2 is 95 laps. That'll be lap 185. And then the final 115 laps is the final stage. Fuel run, according to Bob, is 73 to 80. According to Prime, it was 70 to 75. So I'll just give it 70 to 80. That's
7 of the 11 stages. What that tells me is this: you are up front, and the finishes might not have showed, but you have the pace.
That's the range.
What's the 77 looking like right now? We see you up at the pylon. Every time I look up, there he is. Like, you can't grow up. Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with our speed. I feel like our group's the same. I think the biggest thing was from pit crew to road crew to everybody that touches.
Where the go to the stream?
It's
Damn,
exactly
Jaden.
the day I walked
I feel
in,
really
just from
loved.
my rookie year to now. Like, it's all the same guys, and I think that's really what's gelled up.
Yeah, according to Joey Logano's fuel tank, it's fucking 110 laps apparently. Somehow.
And they have so much faith in you. So
I still don't know how that happened.
It's, you know, there's never been a finger point of.
It's still just like a, how the fuck did that happen?
And everybody there has had a lot of faith in me that I could have that.
Go to the stream. It's Dom's birthday today, actually.
Do everything like that.
Everyone fucking happy birthday, Dom.
Especially here lately, and that's our only saving grace is the stage points.
It's he's not here. He has things to do tonight.
Okay, I can't let him go without asking one thing. You're winning me over right here. Carson starts with C. Confidence starts with C. Championship starts with C. Can you win the championship this year?
And Nick is at work.
I mean, I just gotta win like 3 races at the right time, and maybe we could see. But Jeff Dickerson and he reminds me every single time, good or bad, we're gonna win races and championships. There's no timeline with him. I'm the harshest critic I am, and he just goes unacceptable. We qualified 22nd, and then he just he goes over the top to make it just sound like, yeah, it's dumb.
You fly on Tuesday afternoon? Nice.
He reminds me every given day that we're going to win races, we're going to win championships. Just how we do that and how long it takes is really on us right now.
I told you he was excited to meet you. Can you let him go get in the car, please? He has a job to do. Starting 26 tonight, Carson Hosevar. Thanks so much. Race fans at the Logitech G display in the fan zone were able to test their skills with iRacing simulators and have the chance to meet Willie Byron. As the official wheel and pedal of eNASCAR, Logitech G is putting fans in the driver's seat at NASCAR tracks all season long. Scan the QR code to save on gaming.
350 cases of flu in Australia. Jesus Christ.
And guys, guess what?
I feel like that's not like that shocking.
Logitech sent some G923 racing sims here for fans to take home. I know you guys down there cannot wait to get your hands on them too. Right now, let's send it down to Kim Kuhn, who's with Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Yeah, and Ricky currently sits 10 points to the good on the playoff standing. You've exceeded a lot of people's expectations, but as you look at where the team is versus where you want to be, how would you measure it?
We're exactly where we want to be. We're not, I wouldn't say we got here exactly how we wanted to do it, but other than we've executed really, really well, and that's a testament to what we were trying to do this offseason, just making sure that we, did our job. I think the experience is paying off. Mike and I are working really well together. Our whole team at Hayek Motorsports is working really, really strong. We got a good NOS and Easy drink available at Amazon Camaro here for this weekend. Qualified well, 2 weekends in a row. So we're starting to find our speed a little bit, and I think that's what was, we were lacking it at times in certain races, but I think we're slowly gaining on it. So to be where we are in points right now and where we're sitting, I'm really happy about. Still a lot of work to be done, though. We're going to keep bringing cars to the racetrack, and our single data point that we have every weekend, we go back to the shop and huddle up together and see if we can't come up with something better for the next week. So my guys are doing a great job, and it's going to be a good one here in Nashville tonight.
RSJ making his 450th Cup Series start.
450.
Marty.
Kim, Christopher Bell used the word optimistic after Charlotte with the improvements at the intermediate tracks for Joe Gibbs Racing. Do you sense an even further improvement coming tonight?
I think we've got a really good dual Camry, that's for sure. It's going to be a tough race. It's a very long race, 300 laps.
I remember Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s first race.
We saw last year that
2011 Coke 600.
Get flipped in a hurry. So it's a matter of being in position at the end of the race.
Filled in for Trevor Bain.
There's a lot of really
Trevor Bain had
cars
some
that are in
whatever
that same
injury.
Box, so I'm sure any one of those guys can get put out front and lead a lot of laps. So I hope it's mine.
Danielle leading 131 laps last year. He certainly was one of the cars to beat.
No question about it, Marty. Thanks. And check out my two Nashville Cowboys. Men of the people. Handing out those Logitech G steering wheels and pedals to some awesome kids that are part of a sellout crowd. Anthem and Flyover are next.
Every lap, every race, every bit of pain traded for every hard-fought place. They're all jammed inside every can of NOS Energy.
Yeah, I can eat a whole pizza just sitting a lot of times.
At AT&T, we confidently guarantee our network. Oh, no. What we can't guarantee,
we don't have to,
teammates being
we won't have to deal with NBC Nightly News hating the post-race interviews. Like, so we'll get a post-race show.
I texted you guys. I was going to. I would have. I got dressed first this morning. I thought you said you were going to wear.
Connection means something. That's why with AT&T, you'll proactively make it right with a credit for a full day of service if there is a network interruption. That's the AT&T guarantee.
Racing isn't just a game. It's a way of life. Every lap, every moment. Practice is about consistency. Winning doesn't come easy. Yo! My turn, Bubba.
What's that, Matt Ranieri? How you doing?
Feel the road. Own the race. Logitech G wheels and pedals available now on Amazon.
The Shaq-a-Roni's back at Papa John's with more pepperonis and over half a pound of cheese.
So many orders, we have to staff up.
I am here to work, people. Where's the garlic sauce?
Is he always here? He's everywhere. We're making you a Shaq-a-Roni for $12.99.
That's right. I live here.
That was your dad's car. It'd take a lot of work to get that thing back in the road.
Yeah, green flag is in about 19 minutes here. 7:19 is the green flag. Once again, to break down the race, it's 300 laps, 400 miles. Stage 1 is 90 laps. Stage 2 is 95 laps. And the final stage is the final 115 laps. Fuel run is 60 to 80 or 70 to 80 laps.
What a beautiful night here in Music City.
My win pick is Chase Elliott.
Welcome back to Nashville Superspeedway.
Dom's win pick is Kyle Larson. And Jaden's win pick is Denny Hamlin.
Edwards and current Cup Series driver Corey LaJoie. We're so close to the green, Carl. What are you looking for tonight?
Nashville Superspeedway is difficult. It's tough. It takes an experienced person to win it, and that will be Denny Hamlin tonight.
And we've heard Ross and Kyle both in the previous interviews say how edgy they are. The confidence in there, so we might see some guys wreck tonight.
Now it's time for the invocation with public address announcer. Let's send it over to Chase McCabe.
Good talk.
Please rise as you are able. Remove your hats and veterans render a hand salute as the United States Marine Corps Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Here to offer tonight's invocation, please welcome from the 2D Combat Engineer Battalion, Chaplain Nathan Huffman.
Let us pray. Eternal and everlasting God, thank you for bringing us together here in the Music City to feel the power and the spirit of competition. Bless these drivers and the crews today. Keep them sharp, safe, and strong as they chase that checkered flag. And this Marine Week, we give thanks for our sailors and Marines who've seized distant shores and carried freedom's banner high these past 250 years. Bless this race, bless our warriors, and God bless the United States of America. Amen.
Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome from the 2D Marine Aircraft Wing Band, Sergeant Elizabeth Marino.
But streams and bright stars through
Yeah, America!
And the flyover from the Marine.
What's your thoughts on TNT ending NBA?
Squadron 773. We'll be
I mean, it like kind of sucks, but like, are they going to like Prime or something? Aren't they going to be the Prime booth? Like it's the same people, except for Chuck, because Chuck's retiring, I think, right? But it's really not going to be that different.
This baby hits 88 miles per hour.
Just kind of sucks that they're choosing streaming over, you know, cable. But, oh yeah, Dom's starting spot is 4, which is Tyler Reddick.
The best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Still the beats bang, still doing my thing. Since I left, ain't too much change. And even when I was close to defeat, I rose to my feet. Representing for the gangsters all across the world. Still getting it close. Still taking my time to protect the people. And I'm still guys out on the streets.
To tell you the truth, we could take or leave the extravagance. The attention, the celebrity, the bragging rights,
Excuse me.
the bravado. Because all we've ever really wanted is for every Ford driver to feel this.
A new era of the WNBA is on Prime. The skills, the thrills, the threes. All eyes on the W. Liberty Mystics, then Valkyrie's Mercury. Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, only on Prime.
Welcome back for just the 5th Cup Series race at Nascar's Nashville Super Speedway. Think about that in context to the Coke 600 a week ago, where we've been running it for 66 years. So it's going to be a fun place to run a night race tonight. Carl, who do you have your eye on?
Well, I was talking about Denny Hamlin for a couple of reasons. It's such a difficult racetrack. It takes everything you've got, all the experience, the discipline. He's been so fast here. He's been fast of late. He's got a baby on the way. He's just loving life with the speed in this number 11 car. I really think a veteran is going to take it. Like I said, it's Denny Hamlin. I got $5 you're going to pay me if he wins this thing. This is going to be great.
Well, Denny is second in 10-lap average. I'm taking the guy that's first in 10-lap average, and that's Tyler Reddick. He needs to turn that season around. I think he does it tonight. Tyler Reddick, ladies and gentlemen, is here like the front half of his haircut. All business. We're going to see all business out of Tyler Reddick tonight.
Well, Denny has a little boy on the way. Tyler and his wife, Alexa, just welcomed their second baby boy. They announced it just a few hours ago, a little boy named Rookie. Let's send it up to a trio of veterans. It's time for the boys in the booth to take over. It's Steve Letarte, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Adam Alexander.
Thank you, Danielle. Of course, today we turn the calendar to June.
Yeah, I love the Prime broadcast so far.
In NASCAR, I look at the schedule, and the tracks coming up are really tough. So what do drivers face tonight here at Nashville, Dale?
Well, the concrete's a real challenge for the drivers. It provides such a limited amount of grip compared to the asphalt we traditionally run on. And the bumps, really, really rough racetrack, especially over the tunnel in 3 and 4. And a new bump off of turn 4, Steve, the drivers are talking about it in practice, giving them a lot of problems.
Yeah, the challenges for the drivers are going to be on display. We're going to see it all night long, but it doesn't get any easier for the men on top of the pit boxes. This is truly a riddle. We've seen green flag runs. We've seen 5 overtimes a year ago. You don't know if this will be a caution-filled race, a green flag race, and the tires just lose so little grip, and it's all about fuel conservation. Really, you're not sure what type of race you're going to see.
Now let's go with drivers to watch in tonight's race. There are some really good ones starting up there at the front.
Yeah, Ross Chastain is one of them, starting 5th, coming off that 600 Coke win. I wrote them off, honestly. Didn't think the team had what it took. He publicly criticized his team. They have turned it around, and now sitting here, possibly winning 2 in a row. He's 3 top 5s in the last 4 races here with a win. So a strong run tonight from Ross Chastain could be coming.
Well, you said it last week.
It's a race day, y'all.
Ross Chastain, this race a year ago turned the season around for Joey Logano. This was his only regular season win.
This is what created that berth in the playoffs that carried on to a championship for Joey Logano. So he doesn't look...
Get ready to fire them up.
Charts, but they know how to manufacture finishes. I don't put anything past the 22.
4 races here at Nashville, 4 different winners. The guys you talked about, Joey Logano won the last 2. But I want to go back 2021. Kyle Larson. And they start 28th tonight. We haven't talked about him all weekend.
I'm perplexed. Dale said that earlier in the meeting. I thought it was the perfect word because he's just not as fast as he normally is. So is this a new average Kyle Larson? Because it'll be the first time ever. Or are they hiding something, or are they going to be better? Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous with the speed they had in practice and qualifying. This is Kyle Larson we're talking about, man.
I'm not jumping off the bandwagon. I can promise you that.
Don't give away your seat yet.
And hey, starting 28th, he's going to put on a show driving to the front for all of us. We're about ready to go in Nashville. Let's send it trackside for the command.
And now, here to say the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome 4-time Academy of Country Music Award nominee and top-selling singer-songwriter, Ernest.
Ernest?
Nashville, Tennessee. The sun does shine on Music City. And drivers, start your engine!
Let's go. Them engines are fired. I did not expect somebody named Ernest to have that much energy.
The engines have fired. It's a sold-out crowd. We are ready to rock in Music City. The green flag comes your way next.
No, that's annoying.
There's a place no map can show you. A secret spot. A high-performance hideout for cars that crave chaos. New brakes? Check. Roll cage? Check. A spoiler so big it doubles as a picnic tape? Oh, you bet.
Hello, Mr. Frog.
Every second we shave, it's all knowledge that goes right back into your ride. Look like fun? It is. You in?
It's the doggy.
The perfect race.
Denny Hamlin leading the pack on the final lap.
And then, boom.
Oh, Hamlin's hit. Hamlin is out of it.
That's true in racing and life. When debt hits hard, National Debt Relief helps you take control, so you can pay less than you owe in less time than you think. When life wrecks your finances, National Debt Relief helps you get back on track. Visit nationaldebtrelief.com to get started today.
Meet the IHOP House Faves value menu. Everything's just $6. Like the breakfast faves combo, $6. French toast breakfast, $6. $6 for all this and all that. That's a lot of breakfast for $6. Weekdays at IHOP.
I really like that the side-by-side screen is on this side. It's like closer to me. Makes it just easier for my eyes to be centered on that. I don't know. Very minor detail, but I really appreciate it.
More new ways to watch. A 5-race stretch only on Prime. More bright lights. More Nashville nights. More Motor City speed. More passion unleashed. More history made. More precision display. More moments you can't miss. And for the first time, only on Prime. Welcome to NASCAR.
Start your engines and turn them off, because that's... Why do they do that? I've been wondering why the fuck they do that. Allmendinger to the rear. That's correct. Fuel saving. Then I don't get why we don't just give the command right as we're ready to roll off then. Like, give the command and then like 1 minute later roll off. Don't just like sit there for like 5 minutes. I just hate that, like, they always make covers for, like, these old classic songs for these, like, intros. Like, I wish you would just use the song.
here, Fogarty and Church, and you know it is time for NASCAR on Prime. 39 stock cars rolling off the grid in Nashville. I said before the break, 4 different winners here in the 4 races. Denny Hamlin not
Can you do it and roll off immediately for it to work?
Has led the most laps when you look at the last 4 races here in Nashville, Tennessee, starting on the front row tonight.
Well, let's talk to him, see if we can...
Whatever they do, they should do it different.
You and the guys in the booth, you got it?
Support.
Man, I know you're excited. You got your third maybe on the way, and that could happen any minute. I know there's been a lot talked about this weekend on whether you'd even be racing today. What are the nerves right now?
Yeah, really just excited about the opportunity to win. Obviously, had a great car yesterday, qualified well, practiced well, you know, and got a lot of good things going on. So, love to cap it all with a win tonight.
Well, man, you have been great here over the last several years, and kind of want to know what's the most important thing you need your car to do tonight?
I think just, you know, wrapping the bottom is going to be something that's important. We're still going to have to move around when we're in traffic, but having a car that can stay on the bottom, stay planted there, get through traffic when we get the last that's going to be key.
Thanks so much for giving us some time before the race, bud. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
And now we get to our Cracker Barrel starting grid for tonight's Cracker Barrel 400. Mention Hamlin on the front row. He's there with his teammate Chase Briscoe, who got his 3rd pole of the season yesterday. New track record. Row 2, William Byron, the championship leader, with Tyler Reddick from the Toyota camp, looking for his first win of the year. Ross Chastain in row 3 with Brad Keselowski. Chastain won this race 2
Yeah, no rain in the forecast for the rest of the night.
Sunday night.
Said that we might have some delays earlier, but honestly, it all went away and we look good.
Michael McDowell. And row 5, Joey Logano, last year's champ, last year's Nashville winner. Chris Buescher in row 5 as well. Let's go to
JJ Yaley to the garage.
Points leader William Byron coming off that runner-up finish last weekend after having the dominant car. And despite that second place finish being bittersweet, crew chief Rudy Fuel told me last week was confirmation of everything the team does right. But they're always looking for
JJ Yaley has no power.
50 laps of last week's race together.
It won't fire.
To identify things they can expect.
Maybe if you tried to fire it when
with similar obstacles on track.
I don't know, man. It bothers me. If you fired it up when they told you to fire it up and then didn't shut it down, maybe you wouldn't have these issues.
In Nashville, Chase Elliott with 23, Bubba Wallace in row 7. Ricky Stenhouse, man, he's been tearing it up this year, doing great with Eric Jones, who just turned 29 on Friday. Row 8, Brian Blaney, the best car in practice, many would have thought. Also, Austin Cindric from Oregon, North Carolina back there. And row 9, A.J. Allmendinger, he had a lot of inspection issues on Saturday, going to serve a penalty at the start of the race. And number 7, Justin Haley. And then in row 10, Ryan Preece, 5 top 10s in 2025. And Josh Berry, a home race for Josh here. We're going to go down to Trevor for more on A.J.
A.J. Allmendinger came into this weekend with all kinds of momentum after that 4th place finish at the Coke 600. But on Saturday, as they rolled that 16 Chevrolet out the pit road, NASCAR saw something going on with the they did not like, made them go back to the garage with that car, and then hit them with a penalty for unapproved adjustments. This team sits just 13 points below the cut line, and you're going to see the 16 car drop to the rear and then serve a stop-and-go penalty once the field takes the green flag. Essentially, a one-lap penalty, not what you want to do for a team this close to the cut line for a 400-mile race.
We'll keep an update on that penalty. Continuing with the grid in row 11, driving that iconic number 3 out of Richard Childress Racing is Austin Dillon. Next to him, Ty Gibbs in the 54. Shane Van Gisbergen will be next to Alex Bowman back in row 12. Kyle Busch, Carson Hocevar. A lot of excitement back here in row 13 as we watch those two try to move to the front. Zane Smith will be in row 14 next to Kyle Larson all the way back to 28. Cole Custer and Noah Gregson make up row 15, Marty.
Mid-pack start for Alex
Larson's starting back at 28th.
Honestly, I feel like our practice pace was pretty good. Maybe the best we've ever had at Nashville, but qualifying in that first group is so tough. He said,
I love the Red Bull car.
Best track here at Nashville, but I think we'll race way better than we qualified.
Thank you, Marty. And that was row 16. Ty Dillon making his 500th NASCAR start. He's there with Daniel Suarez. Made his 300th start in the Cup Series last week. Row 17, you got Corey Heim, truck sensation, making his 2nd start of the year. Driving alongside Cody Ware at the beginning of this race. John Hunter Nemechek, 2 top 10s in the last 3 races. Row 18 is where he is with Todd Gilliland. And row 19 tonight, Riley Herbst, J.J. Yaley. Herbst, a rookie from Las Vegas. And rounding out the field tonight from Knoxville, Tennessee, is Chad Bencham in the 66.
Lights are off on the pace car.
With that, talk a little strategy. We get the subway track facts, Stevie.
Got some fireworks. I love that.
The entire race, 90 lap stage.
The first like 2 laps, the backstretch is going to be smoky as fuck though. Yeah, that's just how it happens.
In pit road, 45 miles per hour. Probably the story of this pit road, pretty big box. It's the tricky entry. You see green flag pit stops really pay attention to the challenge to get off this concrete bank onto that.
The word this week for our entire group about Nashville Superspeedway was unpredictable. When you look at the starting lineup, 10 drivers that qualified inside the top 15 have not won this year. A victory puts you into the playoffs. Who gets it done tonight?
All right.
Inside of
Pace
the
car's off.
Outside
Here we go. We're set. Green flags in the air. We are racing from Nashville Superspeedway in Lebanon, Tennessee. Woo!
Big slide out of the one of Chastain, 5 or 6 cars back in that light blue Busch Light Chevy. Lost a couple of spots.
Must be really windy. That smoke disappeared immediately.
And that turns 1 and 2, and now the bump we talked about coming into play. You see the cars bounce over it.
Yep, Troney, Christopher Bell got a little arrow tight side by side for 3rd place right there. Reddick and Byron. Here's the 16 car, AJ Allmendinger, come down pit road, Steve.
Yeah, Trevor.
Allmendinger's pitting.
Issues of inspection, a stop, and it goes. No service allowed. We'll see with the 16.
Oh, wait, he had a penalty. He had a stop and go penalty. I didn't know that. I just knew he had to start in the rear.
He's looking for a quick yellow. That would save this 16 car.
Really, really good battles back here in the field, and 5 car of Larson trying to find its way through the front. Here comes the 16 on pit road. Going to probably lose a lap here easily as the field goes by. What a helpless feeling. They got a long night, though. I said they're losing 1 lap makes me feel good because with the stop and go, and
5 car, Larson's up the racetrack in turn 2.
Larson up in the racetrack. Yeah, he's off the pace. He definitely has an issue.
28th to 23rd.
Back up to speed. Not sure if he just got loose and up out of the groove, but
maybe not.
back in, trying to get going again.
But it looked like he had an issue, but I guess he's back going.
All the way to the tail of the field now, just a couple cars behind him. Take a look. Here's Larson on the outside, off into turn. Oh, look at that looseness. A little bit loose, gets a little contact. So he gets loose into 1. The 54, he's about to run over the 54, so he's out of the gas, trying to correct the car. And he gets run over. And Ross right here on the initial start. He gets loose as well, right up in front of Brad Keselowski. Good reaction to the 6 car there.
By the way, those are 2 drivers.
It did us all a favor there.
Nashville. It speaks to how challenging this place is. Marty, what's up with Larson?
Not a word, Adam, from Kyle Larson about what happened right there.
Dude, what the fuck?
But he just got way too free. And Junior, I'll go back to what he told me in the pre-race show. Starting that far back, he said, yes, we want to get to the front very quickly, but we have to be very smart about the positions we put ourselves in to gain those spots. So you got to wonder, Junior, would Larson now drive maybe a little more conservatively early in this race?
Well, I think he knows he's got plenty of race car, and he's savvy enough, smart enough as a race car driver to know not to drive.
Greatest driver in the world's about to fucking get a top 10 finish after that.
All these cars on pit road tonight. Plenty of people are going to make tons of mistakes to get more track position. So he's in good shape. As long as the car's there, that was the one thing we were worried about with practice times and qualifying speed. But what kind of speed does the car even have? So that's still, something we're going to figure out here in the early stages.
Well, this is the challenge. When you say conservative, how? I mean, there's traffic everywhere. You're going to have to take certain risks right there. He was thinking 3 wide middle, chose to stick with the outside, gave Riley Herbst in that 35 a shove down into the corner.
Yeah. He was checking up, trying not to run in the back of the Gibbs car on that turn 1 entry and got contact from behind from Gilliland and that, you know, he was a little bit free, but I think the contact was mostly what sent him up the racetrack there.
You referenced Gibbs. Gibbs is 21st. Larson had driven in the first couple of laps from 28th to 22nd, so he was gaining on the competition, and all signs were that he was going to move to the front early.
I think it's Ty Gibbs' fault.
Settles in line, and we'll see.
JJ Haley is only a lap down.
Meanwhile, back at the front, Briscoe 0.4 seconds in front.
I thought he went to the garage, but I guess not.
National Debt Relief taking us on board here.
It's a great bumper camera there showing us the asphalt or the concrete and exactly what that looks like, how imperfect the surface is. It's so rough. You see the chatter as he goes around this racetrack, just kind of bouncing. Look at it bounce all the way down the straightaway. If you ever rode on the interstate, it's concrete. The car just kind of bounces across the joints. Big bump right there. Another one right here if we stay on board. Right there.
Oh, he's at pit exit fixing issues.
Chase Elliott, some of the drivers talked about maybe a problem on the long run as they're losing grip in the car and you've got somebody on your door on your left side and making you really tight right there. You could bounce tight or loose across that bump late on corner exit turn 4. We'll keep an eye on that.
This feels a little bit like a broken record. I think back to last week, Cook 600. They got Briscoe on the pole. He's up front. Hamlin spent so much time in the top 5 last week. Same for William Byron, who led all those laps. Tyler Reddick was there. And look at our top 4 tonight. 11, 24, and 45. And I'll say, Steve, tonight has started much better for Briscoe than last week because he only led 1 lap. Last week gave it up. He had the penalty, and they had to come from behind to get a top 5 finish. Yeah. He gets it from the jump here this evening.
Well, and they recovered well. A team that's kind of looking to right the ship is the team.
Thank you, Jaden.
Bush on the outside, losing a position to, I believe it's Ty Dillon in the 10.
These bitches are crazy, man.
Him, although look at
Kyle Busch at 26th.
Going to take the low line. Good grip kind of all over the racetrack. I think early the bottom is going to be the preferred lane. It wouldn't shock me to see him move up the racetrack as the tires age.
Yeah, the 8 car spun out in practice off of that turn 4. As a lot of teams were kind of surprised and caught off guard by the severity of the bumps as they get worse every year. The tunnel bump over turn 3 and 4, that ground just settling around that tunnel. And that track just kind of sinking down creates a stronger and stronger, more difficult bump to get through each time we come back.
Hard to believe that Kyle Busch, last top 10, early April Darlington. I mean, you talk about trying to recover, Dale. This is what you mentioned right here in practice.
Yeah, you'll see the car back there in the middle of the corner just get loose and just easily spins it down the racetrack. John Ferry had the same issue. Right early in the second segment of practice, right in the second group of practice, we saw a couple cars get loose, and that's the bump they've ground. You see that little light space right there? They've ground that to make this a little bit more comfortable for the drivers and teams, because it does get, as this dirt settles around that tunnel, that sinks down and creates a stronger bump, and apparently it's not that severe up high when they go into the high groove. I'd chase up there and try to find that comfort out of that bump in turn 3 and 4.
Look at the top 5. A lot of Toyotas there. Briscoe, Hamlin, Byron, Reddick, and Bell. We're off and rolling on a Sunday night in Music City.
Whoa, who are you guys? I'm you from the past.
And I'm you from the future.
Look, I need a cool outfit for a party.
I'm with my daughter's wedding.
I might be able to help you fellas out. Life is a journey. Coupe Andy is the wardrobe that grows with you. Tailored for every milestone. Look your best, dress the win. Coupe Andy.
Win one championship, you're celebrated. Win twice, they call you a hero. 3 times, they say words like legend and dynasty. But when you've won it all 7 times, the trophy speaks for itself. Introducing the full lineup of Ram trucks. Ram, 7-time winner of Motor Trend's Truck of the Year.
Right now with Employee Pricing Plus, purchase and get an average of $10,900 below MSRP on the 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie, plus $2,000 bonus cash on select models and dealer inventory.
The 3 for Me, only at Chili's, is now available with the all-new Big QP, fries, bottomless chips and salsa, and a bottomless drink, all for just $10.99. So if you're McDone with tiny, overpriced burgers, just come to Chili's. This Chili's 3 for Me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
From racetrack to road, Mobil 1 Motor Oils make whatever you drive more beautifully.
A diagnosis doesn't define you. Even ATTR cardiac amyloidosis. You've come a long way. Your path was never set in stone. You charged ahead. So why would life with ATTR-CM define you? You have the power of choice. Attruby is an oral medicine used to treat adults with ATTR-CM to reduce death and hospitalization related to heart problems. People taking Attruby saw an impact on health-related quality of life and were 50% less likely to be hospitalized for heart issues, giving you more chances to do what you love with who you love. Tell your doctor if you're pregnant, plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding, and about the medications you take. The most common side effects were mild and included diarrhea and abdominal pain. If you have ATTR cardiac amyloidosis, ask your cardiologist if Attruby is right for you. It's time to get busy living.
You're watching the Cracker Barrel 400. Chase Briscoe started on the pole. He's led the first 19 laps, but company coming. Hamlin there, but just trying to figure out a move to get around his teammate.
Yeah, the teams are starting to find a little bit of speed up the racetrack, and we were hoping for that, and it's already happened. And you can
The Red
see
Sox
him
Yankees
running
next
the top
weekend.
of
I'm
the
super
racetrack,
pumped for it.
Down to the bottom right here, 3 and 4. He's tried the top, probably doesn't like it. That's why he went to the bottom. But you see, had a little trouble with that bump, lose a little bit of grip and speed off of that corner. Watch down here, turn 1 and 2. See what Denny does. See if he goes to the top of the racetrack. It's been working for him. Yep, right up the racetrack here. Not all the way to the top, using that middle groove. And look at the gain that he can get down the back straightaway. Starts to close in a little bit. There's a car length, another half a car length, another half a car length. Just got to keep chipping away at it, Steve. Lap after lap, corner after corner. That's the key. It's a game of inches. Charlotte, we saw big runs. You can make up 3-4 car lengths. Here at Nashville, every car length is a big, big game that you just don't give it up. You have to be a little defensive, trying to keep the game. He has to go outside of the dirty air that the 19 cars created. Right behind the 19 car there is very dirty. You need a lot of clean air coming underneath your car to provide the downforce and grip. So the 11 has to offset in the corner. And the 19 can also chase his car up the racetrack. Now, he's not pinned to the bottom right there. He's up the racetrack a little bit, trying to dirty that air that Denny's going to look for. And that's the game. That's this fun game this car presents. I know it frustrates the drivers a little bit, but it's so fun to see them challenged and try to put together passes and outsmart each other. It's kind of cat and mouse, trying to make you guess incorrectly on where to run on the racetrack.
Here's what's interesting to me. These two running so tight in the front, but William Byron a second and a half or more back in third. So even though these two are racing so closely for the top spot, really no William Byron in sight. Advantage. Maybe he will need an adjustment when we get that first stop of the night.
You know, the Toyotas have been strong. They were strong here in the past years and strong again in practice. And the Hendrick cars have had a lot of speed this year, but they look to be a little marginalized. I say that he's running third. You know, and Chase Ellitt's right there in 6th, so they've got speed. But I believe that the Gibbs cars just have a little bit more when we come to this racetrack. We'll see what happens, though. A big shift in grip and temperature. This track's going to change a ton throughout the night. And the same thing we saw at the 600. Somebody that might not be running really, really awesome at the start of the race could come on late.
But I will say this, for Briscoe, taking advantage of an opportunity. Ultimately, you want to win, and the expectation is there when you start on the pole. But he comes in 40 points above the cut line. You have got to maximize and get stage points, something he didn't do when he started at the front last week.
Yeah, Denny's right there, just about in position. And you're right, the pressure is on Briscoe because even though Trix kind of struggled, let's see what happens here. You wouldn't want to let him go by. You're not going to race your teammate quite as hard as you might race everybody else. But, man, to win these races, and that's what he wants to do, you have to control the front of the field. And you have to race every position, even this early in the race, like it's for the win.
The 19 now is trying to commit to the lane almost second.
He almost caught Briscoe.
To the bottom or the middle first, right? It's this crazy kind of
It's just, can you pass? That seems like a fucking issue.
Screen on their dash or wherever they decide to put it, and it makes all the difference. All right, the 19 gave a little bit of light to the left side. Then he tries to get lower on the racetrack.
So that line right there where Briscoe's maybe a half a car off the bottom, that makes the bottom, very bottom, really not an option for Denny. And that also kind of dirties or muddies up the air in the higher groove. Denny's going to have to find even more grip way up the racetrack if he wants to make this pass. I just don't think the track's there yet to be able to provide enough speed on that longer route around. And you can see the difference now. The 19's kind of moved around, dirtied the air up. Denny slid back a little bit. He's kind of going to regroup, maybe cool his tires down, make another charge at it.
Let's go down to Trevor Band. It's our Cracker Barrel 400 Pit Road Report.
Yes, sir, Adam. I've got the 22 car here looking pretty good right now. They were concerned with their short run speed during practice, but felt that
Dirty air.
30, which we're coming up on, their car came to life. Looking pretty good on short run speed, though. Able to move up from 9th to 8th here. Spotter Coleman Presley really getting Joey to move around and change his entry some. Tim.
Chris Buescher running in the 12th position, and for this team, it's been a little bit of a sigh of relief this week. The appeals panel met for their penalty back from Kansas. That 60-point penalty was reduced to 30. Now they find themselves 6 points out of the playoffs after that appeal. And crew chief Scott Graves is back and told me this gives them a second chance. Right now, Buescher feeling good in terms of ride quality and balance on that Ford, Marty.
Team Penske driver Austin Cindric sitting in the 15th position. Chatted with Austin yesterday. Said, honestly, I feel like yesterday was one of the better practice sessions we've had at an intermediate track this year. We're solidly in the group that can run 5th to 15th, right where he is right now in the race today. And it was also interesting, he told me, everybody's talking about the bumps in 3 and 4. I didn't think they were any worse than last year. I felt they were no different. And how you navigate those bumps tonight, Adam, could be who gets to victory lane.
Maybe it's the youth for Austin. I mean, 26 years old, he's just not worried about the bumps. So just let me drive that race car, not talking about it. Let's get an update. Kyle Larson, radio 30th right now for the guy that won here 4 years ago.
A little bit tight center where the rubber is on the bottom, but where the surface is cooler, I turn fine. If anything, I would like us just a little bit more to lean on exit and entry.
Great information, and the driver sounds relatively calm to have only moved forward about a couple positions. Still sitting in 30th spot right here. His lap times are basically the same as all the cars around him. The leaders are running 30-30s. Some of the cars in the top 10, 30-40s. This car right here, this 5, is running 30-60s and 70s back in the field.
Two drivers to pay off the top 10. Chase Elliott, Michael McDowell, Bubba Wallace up there, Ross Chastain, Chase Briscoe, your race leaders.
Subway's protein-packed footlongs check all the boxes. Juicy chicken or layers of fresh sliced deli meats? Check. All your favorite Subway snacks? Check. Plus, by any
I think that was JJ Yeley just got put another lap down.
Deal? Check, check. Order now on the Subway app.
New to Toyota Gazoo Racing, there are a lot of unofficial rules. Rules like only pass cars on the left. Don't drive on the grass. When you win, be humble. You know what they say. Rules are made to be broken. You in?
When I use my Bosch Bulldog rotary hammer, I feel like the man. When I can powerfully break through brick and concrete, that powerful feeling grows and grows. I feel like I have the power.
When you can power through the toughest concrete, the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a...
The following stunts are performed by professionals. Don't try this.
Mister, you're so weird.
This Xfinity Wi-Fi is... Ooh.
Next up, boom time. The Wi-Fi booming. The Wi-Fi is booming like a 10XW uniform IPO. Three feet sideways. It's bursting with Wi-Fi.
Yeah, everyone who knows I'm boom when they see it is going to want to.
The Wi-Fi booming.
After 17 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series roars back into Mexico. And it's not coming quietly. Saturday, June 14th, live from Mexico City.
Oh my gosh, these fans are amazing.
The tempers will be hot. The danger will be high. racing will be right on the edge. The NASCAR Xfinity Series, Saturday, June 14th from Mexico City at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on the CW.
Find your favorite driver and official NASCAR merchandise by searching Shop the Race in the Amazon shopping app. 37 laps in, NASCAR's Cup Series racing at Nashville Superspeedway. And here comes the 19 of Chase Briscoe, and he's knocking on the door of the 51 of Cody Ware. That would put him a lap down. That's significant because that would mean that A.J. Allmendinger no longer would be in the free pass position. He was hoping for early caution, and there goes Briscoe.
He got held up there a little bit off the corner, and that's going to give Denny Hamlin an opportunity. Anytime you got a faster car, I can't tell you how many times we've come to Nashville and we've watched Denny Hamlin try to.
Yeah, I assume most people will be starting to pit.
It feels like this happens at every single race here.
Probably around lap 45.
To present a better opportunity for Denny to try to get this lead away. Take Briscoe to the top here around the 34.
Denny should be able to turn to the bottom if the 34 gives him the bottom. That might be an overall gain. Looks like Gillen maybe, yeah, Gillen's going to give him the top. Larson on pit road. Marty.
You see Kyle Larson pitting, and yes, did not make the progress we thought he might make once he had that one little slip up. This is a little on
Larson
the
is pitting.
side of the window. 39 laps into the run, 51 to go in the stage. They can make it to the end of the stage, pitting here for Kyle Larson and maybe get some clean racetrack. But Steve, you think that's a little
Briscoe's pitting.
they might have pitted tonight?
Earlier than I thought, just because there wasn't a
So
lot
Hamill
of
will take the lead as Briscoe is pitting.
He's going to go down 2 laps, which is a big risk. Now we see Briscoe, the leader on pit road. This will get everyone's attention. He's going to kind of set the standard. Doesn't want to give up that track position, Kim.
I think Hamlin might wait a few laps if I had to guess.
Last week, so they are looking for perfection on pit road this week. Really no major feedback on the car's handling from Chase, but spotter telling him other cars have more full speed.
Here comes this lap.
Good job wrapping up a Ford Fresh Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel for leader Chase Briscoe.
You see the reaction, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, kind of forced.
Denny Hamlin's in, Reddick's leading.
Long and do something very off-cycle, then you need to follow Briscoe down pit road to not lose time, Marty.
No real complaints from Denny Hamlin, and we kind of saw that longer run back to speed show up here in the early part of the race as well. But once he caught his teammate, he could go nowhere.
And to fire off fighting way tighter than expected. In fact, he said, I need it freed up towards the end of that run. He did say off the corner exit, it did start to get a little bit freer. William Byron done with service.
Scheduled green flag pit stops, 40 laps into stage 1.
We'll see if Denny Hamlin can blend in front of the 19. Remember, the 19 came a lap early. He should be able to keep the lead, and he will. Will Denny lose overall time? I mean, I don't know. Photocopy. Looks like exactly how they looked before they both came to pit road.
I'm anxious to see, who does run it long and how everybody plays this because the window is so wide.
Well, with Reddick staying on the racetrack, I believe the plan is to run long, or he would have already pitted, Marty.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. coming down pit road, a team in the playoffs as of right now. You see that big wedge adjustment. Stenhouse saying the car way too free early in the race. A 47 leads back on the racetrack.
The last 2 races here, stage 1 went green completely, 23 on pit road.
Yeah, the 23 car taking 4 tires and fuel here. Really happy with their qualifying and their effort early in this weekend after 3 bad weekends in a row. Need to recover here in Nashville.
As you see Chris Buescher on the bottom of your screen, he started off neutral, but then tight center free entry is the report he gave the team before this stop.
To be very careful judging the time of these pit stops. Everyone, even at the start of the race, on different fuel loads, Trevor.
Yeah, Joey Logano going a little.
Logano's pitting.
On that run. Little free
So this is right now halfway through the first stage.
And this is the car they were referencing to. Rochester, really good on exit right now. He's one of the first ones to move that entry line around as well that we saw earlier.
Sometimes it's challenging to come off the banking, make a pit stop for Bubba Wallace. He'll have to do a drive-through penalty.
Bubba's got a penalty.
Chase Elliott is in. Trevor?
Alex Upton said that the early part of their weekend is their challenge right now. If they're going to win races, they got to qualify better and run better in stage 1. They're doing that right now. Found themselves inside the top 6 for that whole run. Kim.
Michael McDowell coming off that top 10 finish at Charlotte, reporting he fired off free and turn 4 on exit, but the handling has worked its way back to him. He said the car is pretty decent right now. No major changes on this stop for Michael McDowell.
We talked about about that pit entry. It's extremely aggressive coming off of the banking onto pit road. And if your car is sliding around, hopping, mashing the brakes is not an option, Marty.
Boy, Christopher Bell had to work around the car to get into a stall. Checked up a little bit. We'll see if that cost him any time on the track. The early part of the run, very good for Bell. He said, if anything, it's giving up turn one later in the run.
Tyler Reddick leading the race. He's up there with Blaney, Cindric, Ty Gibbs, Justin Haley.
Yeah, Reddick now on pit road. He's the car at the top of your
Been
screen
caution
right
free
there,
so
Reddick.
far. Past halfway in the first stage.
On the side, Marty.
Reddick's pitting. Blaney's in the
Everybody
lead.
else pitted, Steve. Billy Scott said, we're going to take advantage of this clean air and see if we can gain a little bit on this pit stop cycle.
Smart.
The short was really good for Reddick. Kind of leveled off about 25 laps into the run and a little bit too free at the end of the run as well.
See Bubba Wallace right there serving his penalty, basically one lap, much like the 16 car, an extra trip down pit road. This will hurt the 45. He ran long. Now, what he's hoping for is he split the stage up kind of in the middle. He's hoping with maybe 10 to go, 15
It was
to go.
interesting because when Kyle Busch had his
It makes up a bunch of time.
penalty the other night, was it a penalty or no? It was an unscheduled stop,
Getting pretty aggressive.
right?
Ryan Priest and Stenhouse, these are two hard.
He didn't lose a lap.
When you put them close in close proximity on the racetrack, this is what you get. Could see both of those guys probably smiling through that whole process. I know they look like they might be frustrated with each other as we ride on board with Priest and the Trimble onboard camera. Right over that bump in turn 3 and 4 and see them cars sliding around in front of him. That looks like Hocevar right there out in front of the number 60. Priest is back in 27th position.
Top 11 cars yet to make a pit stop in the green flag cycle.
Oh yeah, it was a restart violation. You're right. Was it? I don't fucking remember.
So think about this, right? Ryan Blaney has yet to pit.
But he didn't lose a
He's
lap.
running 30.2 second laps. Cars that have already pitted, they're running 30.1, 30.2, 30.3, depending on where they are. So this is why you see cars run long. Darlington, Miami, tracks where tires move instantly. No chance the pit cycle takes as long. One pits, they all pit. But here at Nashville, what makes it so difficult is there's an outside chance that staying out like this for Blaney works and pays off in the long run.
51 laps in, you're watching NASCAR on Prime.
Value menu. Everything's just $6. Like the breakfast faves combo. $6. French toast breakfast. $6. $6 for all this and all that. That's a lot of breakfast for $6. Weekdays at IHOP.
A Chewy order is on the way for Dash, who was just rescued yesterday by Dave, who's realizing in real time his new dog has a thing for squirrels. There's Chewy, where Dave will order a harness and everything else Dash needs in life, like delicious food, because squirreling can work up quite an appetite. For low prices and fast shipping, for life with pets, there's Chewy.
Savar's pitting.
Why GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco? From the basics like maintenance and repair parts to powertrain components, GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco are the true original equipment for all General Motors vehicles. Plus, AC Delco Gold and Silver parts are the only aftermarket parts backed by GM. Those in the know, stay on the go with high-quality replacement parts from GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco.
Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. President. That can't be good.
So Blaney's leading. He's still yet to pit. Cindric and Cindric and Justin Haley still have to pit. Here goes Blaney this time. Nope, I thought he was slowing down.
backup.
There is no backup.
34 laps to go. It's stage one of the Cracker Barrel 400 from Nashville Super Speedway. Last year, Team Penske won in the form of Joey Logano. This year, his teammate leads, and that being Ryan Blaney. He and teammate Austin Cindric both need to make a pit stop.
Yeah, mixed up running order with cars staying on the racetrack, but you see on the racetrack, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, that will be for position, as well as Suarez, but he has yet to pit, right? So of the drivers who have pitted 24 and 11, who's we're focused on, and Byron's putting the pressure on Hamlin.
Suarez is racing those guys for position, but he's yet to come to pit road, and you can see the difference in new tires versus old tires. Very minimal for some of the better cars, but Suarez is struggling to make lap time here late in his run. And yeah, the 24 is using the top of the racetrack, trying to get that clean air. Riding on board with John Hunter Nemechek, Toyota Gazoo Racing onboard camera. And just barely cracking that throttle, just slowly going into throttle around this slick concrete racetrack.
Nemechek won here last year in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, they've been really strong. Had an awesome car last week at the 600. Not that great tonight, it don't appear. Maybe not in store for a top 10 run. They've been kind of struggling. Trevor, what you got?
Well, guys, the 12 team historically likes to run long at these type of tracks, but Blaney's getting right now, staying out in front of third. Last lap, the fastest car.
Bro, I just choked on the air.
A 30-21. Will this change the strategy for the rest of the race of some of these cars who have really good long run speed, Steve?
Yeah, I'm shocked that everyone came as early as they did. Tires don't dictate that it's required. I think Blaney's proven that you're fine to stay out. So you ask yourself, what's the risk? A caution. A caution right now. Why that wouldn't hurt Byron or Reddick because they are on the lead lap. They're down track position. They have so many laps on their tires, they're probably going to have to pit again. Blaney would then be the race leader.
We saw Blaney have incredible speed in practice, Steve. And my question to you is that strategy open to everyone or just cars like Blaney that can run this kind of a lap time this late in the run?
Well, good cars make everything better, right? So I think it is definitely going to pay off the best for Blaney. But I think if you look at even Cindric in second, I don't think he's quite as fast, but it's not a huge penalty to run long. Because remember, if they go maybe 15 more laps and they pit, maybe they put a lot of fuel on board, maybe you take 2 tires at the end of the stage. Maybe you short fill at the end of the stage. I think this just opens up the opportunities is really what it's doing. Why take the risk if you don't have to early? Run long, see when the cautions come, and kind of adjust.
Best strategy is a fast race car. Is that right, Crew Chief?
Yeah, fast race car, you know when the yellows are going to come out and make a lot of good decisions.
Scan the QR code to save on gaming products by Logitech G, the official wheel and pedal of eNASCAR.
Bubba Wallace is a big gamer and streamer as well, and but he's had a bit of a tough run here. Just several weeks ago, this guy had over 60 points to the cut line in the playoffs. Here's the finishes in the last 3 races. Just an abysmal 3 weeks, and that he talked about, man, it feels so good to have such a nice cushion. I've never been in this position. I'm always worried because I'm always around the bubble late as we're getting toward the playoffs, and this is so nice. Well, he has now lost all of that advantage, and then the speeding penalty tonight has them off sequence and a lap down, lost on that, giving a lap to the field. So he's ran well here, had some good speed here in the past, but he needs a great run tonight.
So you saw the finishes. Let's show how they happened. Right here, Texas Motor Speedway in the wreck on the backstretch. Heavy damage with the inside wall. That's that 33rd place finish. Then at Kansas, wrong place, wrong time. Another big impact. I mean, that is big damage. Then at the 600, once again. So you can say bad luck that you're in the wreck, but you're kind of back there. You know, rarely do we see guys wreck third, fourth.
I think that might be the first Bubba game that I don't really like that much.
This is the time of year where we start to pay attention to
Chumba
the
Casino.
We start talking about it. It's very fascinating. A lot of fun drivers around that battle that are part of the great storylines in the sport. He's still comfortably 45 points above, but just imagine if those had been even 15th, 20th place finishes, what position he might be in. So they just need to come in here tonight, overcome that speeding penalty, try to get, top 20, top 15 result, and then move on.
You see the battle for 4th. Chase Briscoe, who dominated this race early, 4th now because the top 3.
Blade's really stretching it out.
Radio.
Top 3 is really stretching it out.
Oh no.
Copy. For the
What?
things we talked about here, just do your best to manage and adjust to it.
Do what?
Make sure if you're pumping that you get a full release before you go to use it here. Go good.
What do you say?
Brake down, brake pedal on the floorboard. That tells me that the fluid has gotten hot. The brakes have gotten hot. I don't see any brake cooling on the opening of that 19 car. So as the fluid gets hot, the pedal gets long, and then the feedback of, hey, if you're pumping, so down the straightaway, Dale, if you're pumping the brakes to get a firm pedal, they want to make sure he takes his foot completely off it before he then goes to it at the start of the corner to make sure he has good brake application.
This track is actually harder on brakes than you would imagine. As large as it is, it looks like you can really sail the car down in the corner and have a lot of mid-corner speed. There's no grip. Mid-corner speed's really slow. You use a lot of brake to get the car slowed down to the center. And I think there's a bit of an underestimation of the heat and the humidity. Even today, the temperatures are relatively 20 degrees cooler than last year. It's still muggy hot down there and uncomfortable and difficult for these machines.
When you see right here in the telemetry how fast these cars are going, and we're going to see 170 plus at the end of the straightaway. The brake pedal will come on at the bottom of the screen, knocking speed. I mean, knocking what, over 40 miles an hour out of the car.
Let's go to Marty.
Adam, it seems to be a bit of a Toyota problem for the brake issues. Here was Tyler Reddick earlier in the race. Listen.
I understand. All right, have you moved bias? Yeah, I saw Ford was worse. Go rearward then.
So that was Tyler Reddick saying the pedal is getting spongy. He also radioed to Billy Scott later on, Kim, and said the pedal also very inconsistent. Some corners I get like a quarter into the way of the brakes and it stops. Other corners are taking almost all the brakes to get it to stop.
Well, Marty, you mentioned it might be a Toyota thing. We heard the issue in Frisco. We just heard the issue with Tyler Reddick. The 54 of Ty Gibbs also complaining about brakes. About 20 laps ago said the brakes are starting to get really long. That pedal is just not what I need it to be.
Blaney's finally pitting, but he is Mr. 69.
Brakes, as you heard from all the reporters, that makes that pit entry even more difficult. You go to step on the brakes and you just don't have what you want. The 12 of Blaney was stuck behind some lap cars. Frustration was skyrocketing. Finally came to pit road. We'll see what kind of stop they have, Kim.
Yeah, the balance of that car just ill. Not what Blaney wants. It fired off tight. Then he said I had trouble turning.
Yeah, Blaney had 23 laps there.
It was only through traffic, but ended that run tight also. So you're looking for it to free up just a little bit, Marty.
I checked in with Richie Brian Wilson for Austin Cindric. I said, what about this move? He said, why not? We had 15 before. They are going to wait on fuel. Steve, why would they make that move now under green versus under caution at the end of the stage?
So it's simple calculation. But basically, you can change tires faster than you can fill these cars up with fuel. So rarely, if ever, are the cars leaving full. What these teams are doing right here is they know they're going to lose time, as we see AJ Allmendinger on pit road now. So put extra fuel in here. When the field is bunched up under yellow, have a stop that's 1.5 or 2 seconds faster. That's where you actually the most passes on pit road is under yellow. See John Hunter give a check on the bottom of your screen, waiting till released by the crew. The checks on pit road get more and more complicated every year. We'll have to just see if this fueling strategy by the Penske teammates plays out at the end of the stage.
Justin Haley, another driver that ran it long, caught speeding when he made his pit stop. It's all cycle through. Chase Briscoe back out front.
Online security is, like, as a mom, one of the very highest priorities. There's so many things that we have to watch out for. With Spectrum, I don't have to worry about it. I know when my kids are on their devices, they are protected because I'm not always sitting right next to them. The reliability, the connectivity, the security, everything is kind of all in one. That absolutely makes it worth it to me.
Fast, reliable internet starting at $30 a month, backed by the Spectrum commitment to keep you connected.
Welcome back to Papa John's. I find things in life, like ordering more to save more off the Papa Parents menu. It's all $6.99. You've got a brownie.
Why are you whispering? We're making you Papa Parents for $6.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
When my doctor gave me Breasttree for my COPD, things changed for me. Breasttree gave me better breathing, symptom improvement, and reduced flare-ups.
Breasttree won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. It is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Don't take Breasttree more than prescribed. Breasttree may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor.
Side-by-side battle here.
Chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling,
Ross Chastain and Stenhouse.
Ask your doctor about Breasttree.
Sorry, that's Busher.
ABS or maintenance light on? There's an O'Reilly Auto Parts. Turn left, Tyler. Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you don't want to do the repair yourself, we can recommend a shop for you. Okay, Tyler, let's go fix your car.
Auto Parts. Every lap, every race, every bit of pain traded for every hard-fought place. They're all jammed inside every can of Knox Energy. Go ahead, open up a can.
Welcome to more new ways to watch. A 5-race stretch only on Prime. More bright lights, more Nashville nights, more Motor City speed, more passion unleashed, more history made, more precision displayed, more moments you can't miss. And for the first time, only on Prime. Welcome to NASCAR.
13 laps to go.
13 to go on the first stage.
And you got Briscoe out front. Hamlin is there. Byron is there. They're trying to put Larson a lap down. We got a whole lot going on.
A lot going on in a three-man battle. Byron has put the pressure on Hamlin to be on offense and defense. Byron to the bottom, Dale.
Here goes Byron. Trying to get second, and he does. And Larson is fighting like hell to stay on the lead lap. I don't think he will.
To try to steal this away from Briscoe. Briscoe is sort of stuck right here behind the line of Larson. Yeah, Larson is doing everything he can to stand the lead lap because that's kind of his race. He knows. Playoff point. If you got any refusal to William Byron, reminding him at 12 laps what is on the line.
He was undefeated in stages last weekend at Charlotte. Was William Byron, won 2 in the Xfinity race, went 3-0 Sunday night in the Coke 600, and trying to pounce again late here, stage 1 at Nashville.
Yeah, 11 laps to go. A lot of time for Byron to move around. Surprised he's staying right on the bottom of the racetrack. Going to follow in that dirty air, the 19. But the 19 stuck as well. Well, and who, didn't get in was the 19. Pole sitter, got behind, recovered to third.
Here goes Byron.
Here we go. Going to the top of the
Byron going up to the top.
Similar to Denny, just not able to make time up there just yet. But a good speed down the back.
11 to go in the first stage. 10 to go now.
He's going to close in a little bit. I think the top of 1 and 2 is a little bit better. Oh, he went to so he went to the bottom.
Oh, Byron.
Lost a little bit of grip, slid across the wake of that 19 car, turned sideways.
Byron lost some time there.
Reddick, 6-lap fresher tires right behind these two. Remember, he ran longer. We're going to see.
Yeah, Reddick has fresher tires, yeah. And now he's in this mix.
I mean, it turns the middle. You see the advantage.
Larson is not in this mix. He is trying to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, you two get side by side and get off my back. He's going to have his hands full again soon if he don't find a way around the 5-car. Larson getting himself some clean air. He's going to have to move around. He does up the racetrack a little bit. Here comes the 45 back at the top of your screen. Reddick trying to get to the inside of his 24 down the back straightaway, not able to do it. Dale, you explained it so well earlier when you said, well, he just can't pass. He can't pass because Byron won't let him. He's mirror driving as he should right there. Reddick dives to the bottom and on he goes.
Look at Hamlin.
Here comes Hamlin. Hamlin trying to take the lead. Oh, they're making contact.
Little contact right there. What happens down in this corner?
Here comes Hamlin on the inside.
That's going to predict really who has the best grip to this corner. Five down there in front of the 11 of Denny. Denny on the racetrack gets the 19 tight. We're side by side down the back straightaway. Don't forget these bumps, Dale. You talk about how tough they would be by themselves.
Hamlin to the lead.
Hamlin hold on over the bump right here. Oh, he's going to clear. What a great job.
Hamlin clears him.
Taking advantage of how the 5-car was limiting the 19. The 19 struggling, trying to get around that lap traffic. Denny was way up the racetrack, got passed by Byron, works his way back around both of them. Here comes the 45, though.
New leader in Nashville, Denny Hamlin in charge. Briscoe about to lose second. 45 of Tyler Reddick. Fresher tires. Here he comes.
And think about the history with Hamlin and Larson. Now Hamlin is trying to lap Larson. These guys have a long history of racing each other.
And hey, if you're in the field, you want the 5 lap.
I still don't know if Hamlin's or if Larson's going to get lapped. I don't know.
In the game at all.
Looking at it, it doesn't look like he could hold him off, but he's been holding him off just like this. So, I don't know.
Goes up there as well. Here comes the 45. Reddick closing the gap on the 11. Four-lap traffic ahead. The 5 forced to the bottom of the racetrack. All 3 of the cars will have to go down there. Nobody gets an advantage there.
66 Chad Bencham a couple of laps down, so he's really not part of the equation we're talking about here. 5 to go in the stage.
And pretty much we got clean air right now in front of the 5 car for quite a while. So the 5 really gets to decide what he wants to do. Denny doesn't, I mean, Denny would rather win the stage than to go over and slow himself down on the back of the 5 car here. Can he hold the 45 off? 2 things I'm noticing. Fresher tire, the 45 paying off. Fresher tires on Ryan Blaney. Restarted or rejoined the pack outside the top 10. He's driven up to 8. So fresher tires back. Fill in my notebook if I'm a crew chief for what that final stage may look like.
Tremendous call for Jonathan Hassler on the pit box for Ryan Blaney. Someone else we need to give a call to in the top 10, Michael McDowell. Great qualifying effort yesterday. He is 7th. 4 to go in the stage as Byron works over Briscoe. That's for 3rd.
And he almost got to the outside of Briscoe. Now he's finally there, down into turn 3. He's going to get side by side, but we've seen this corner just not provide the speed and grip. Can he stay on the outside? I believe he does. Going to use the momentum off the top, down the front straightaway. Gets away so he can be set. Side draft. The 19 gets a little side draft right there, holds him down in the corner side by side. And after 51 laps led, the positions bleeding off for Briscoe with only a couple laps to go in the stage. Track position that he is going to want.
3 to go on the stage.
Restart. On the other side of it, you've got William Byron comes in with a championship lead, and all he does is just keep adding those stage points to the bucket. Going to be 2 to go when we cross the start-finish line, this time at stage 1. Hamlin 3/10 in front of Reddick as Byron once again goes outside, and they're coming from behind. Those are some lap vehicles there, among them Riley Herbst in the 35.
Yeah, Riley Herbst and Bubba Wallace racing for the free pass. Bubba Wallace had the speeding penalty. He would love to be able to get by this 35 car. That could be a different night, a different trajectory for Bubba Wallace if he can get his lap back here at the end of the stage. Speeding penalty forgiven if he can pull it off.
Final lap of the stage.
Final lap of the first stage. Been entirely green so far.
Just in kind of protect mode right here. He's forgotten about trying to lap the 5. He would love to, but he's not going to get it done. He just wants to keep that 45 car behind him. I think he's going to do that easily. Reddick does have more speed, but he just run out of laps here at the end of this stage.
Larson qualified 28, had the slide early, dropped back outside the top 30. He's going to be able to stay on the lead lap. Denny Hamlin comes back to the...
And Denny Hamlin wins stage 1. Larson does stay on the lead lap there.
Byron Bell, the top 5.
A tip of the hat to Riley Herbst, who was able to hold off Bubba Wallace. Big move out of the 2311 driver in the 35 car.
Scored in the 20.
All right, so that was about a 46-minute, 24-second green flag run to start the race. First caution is out for the end of stage 1. I'm going to go outside and smoke, and I will be back for the start of the second stage.
Join the more than 7 million adults, like Michael, who've taken Ozempic.
As touring musicians, my type 2 diabetes could have slowed us down, but I didn't let it. I'm Michael from the Warren Treaty, and this is what my Ozempic era looks like. I'm lowering my A1C and lost some weight too. I also learned some people take Ozempic to lower the risk of major cardiovascular events like stroke, heart attack, or death, and others take it to lower the risk of worsening chronic kidney disease.
Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles. Don't take if you or your family had MTC, MEN2, or if allergic to it. Stop taking and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck or any of these allergic reactions. Tell your provider if you plan to have surgery or a procedure, are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be. Serious side effects may include inflamed pancreas, gallbladder or severe stomach problems, or changes in vision. Call your prescriber if you have any of these symptoms. Taking with a sulfonylurea or insulin may raise low blood sugar risk. Common side effects include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pain, constipation. Some side effects lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Discover the GLP-1 with the most FDA-approved uses. Ozempic.
Ever since we hired Dale Jr. at IHOP, breakfast has been moving fast. Look, it's pancakes! Dine-in delivery catering.
Will you sign my pancakes?
This Xfinity Wi-Fi is ooh.
Next up, booming time. The Wi-Fi booming.
The Wi-Fi is booming like a
10XW Unicorn IPO.
Three meet sideways. It bursted with Wi-Fi.
Well, everyone who knows a boom when they see one is going to want in.
The Wi-Fi booming.
Travel. It's gone from being an adventure to a checklist. But the world is still full of wonder. You just need a better way to find it. Introducing Airbnb Experiences. Master ramen with an award-winning chef. Dive into underground jazz with a renowned bassist. Or see Notre Dame with her. She helped restore it, by the way. Don't just see a place. Experience it.
NASCAR on Prime is brought to you by Cracker Barrel. And by Spectrum, a fast and reliable connection, making more things possible. Great night in the city, 30 miles east, Nashville Superspeedway. Pit stop's underway, Marty.
Top left of your screen, Denny Hamlin, playoff point in the bank for the 11 team. He said he was just too free at the early part of the run, but the long run speed was terrific. Tyler Reddick said the last adjustment worked so well. Don't make any changes on this top. We just see clean air, Kim.
Bottom left, you see William Byron's slight chassis adjustment. Freer at the end of the run, he said, lost a chunk of rear grip, so they look to tighten it up. Chase Briscoe down, bottom right, he said, losing the front turn and rear grip. Rear grip was the bigger problem, though, for them.
Remember that fuel strategy by the Penske cars that allowed them to take 2 tires, and just like that, in the game of leapfrog, they win first and second off pit road.
They got it going on. Restart coming when we return.
So, you like NASCAR but don't know who to root for? Here's some Toyota legends you can get behind. Meet Tyler Reddick. Crushed it in Xfinity Series and now he's here. Basically the Cinderella story, if Cinderella drove 200 miles per hour. Then there's John Hunter Nemechek. New kid on the block. All gas, no brakes. Oh, and Denny Hamlin. Ever heard of Daytona? He's won it 3 times. No big deal. We have a lot of drivers. All legends. You pick. You in?
The 3 for me, only at Chili's, now serves up the all-new Big QP for just $10.99. And that's 85% more beef than some quarter-pound burger. Yeah, hey, fast food, this is how you value me. This Chili's 3 for me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
Racing isn't just a game. It's a way of life. Every lap, every moment. Practice is about consistency. Winning doesn't come easy.
Yo!
My turn, Bubba. Feel the road. Own the race. Logitech G wheels and pedals available now on Amazon.
From racetrack to road, Mobil One Motor Oils make whatever you drive more beautifully.
Welcome back to Field and Stream. On every page, history. Each trail, a story. Your story. We exist to help you share the moments that matter. Like the thrill of a topwater strike. The smell of wet dogs and duck feathers. And the beating in your chest when that buck steps out. Field and Stream. The greatest stories happen out there.
I'm back.
Back at Nashville Superspeedway, this relief lap is sponsored by National Debt.
Yeah, there was a chance Denny wasn't going to be in this race tonight. He was on baby watch. He still is on baby watch. I guess there is a chance he could come out, but
Downstairs, Danielle, Corey, and
like Ryan Truex is on standby.
Yeah, Double A, these boys are keeping an eye on a whole lot. Third straight caution-free stage one. Denny Hamlin takes it. Corey, what are you seeing out of this racetrack?
Well, I love to see a plan take hold. Jonathan Hassler, unfortunately, had a plan going in to go long, to take rights, and it came right to their wheelhouse. They flipped it to the lead, and we know how important track position is here, Carl.
And what I saw is it took 82 laps for the track to start widening out, all right? So that's great for the fans. This is a slow burn of Nashville. It's going to get wider and racier. But I think they're picking up all the rubber. The restart's going to be when the aggression picks up. Everybody knows, I don't want to wait 82 laps to pass. I want it right now.
You also have your eye on this second stage, Carl, restarts. You think they're going to be wild?
Yeah, I think to the point that we've been talking about, concrete's very tough. It's very hard to pass. Like I just said, all these guys are like, man, I really have to go. The lane's going to be narrow, fast. This is when the action picks up.
Well, the give and take balance starts to take a little more take as we go deeper into the singles. You know how hard it is to get track position, and your only chance to get it is for the first 2-3 laps after the restart.
Put $5 on Denny Hamlin. He's making you look smart right now, Carl Edwards. Let's send it back up to the booth.
Hey, wait, that's taking a page out of my book. He was my one to watch last week.
So wait a sec. They get off the set to go to the bar. We're just up here, just covered from above.
And we got it from here. Hey, 8 drivers took the wave around here under our first caution of the night. 6 got back on the lead lap. Among them, A.J. Allmendinger had the penalty, had to stop and go right at the green flag.
Yeah, a lot of big adjustments. The 8 of Kyle Busch, where they went under the hood to adjust on that car. The 5 of Kyle Larson under the hood. So, Dale, you talk about how difficult it is to get the handling right. Some crew chiefs kind of jumping on it early, trying to get ahead with a lot of racing still to go.
It'll be interesting to see how these 2 tires fare at the front of the field. Both the Penske cars controlling this restart. But how will this strategy?
All right, getting ready to go back green.
On the strategy, if they actually can go out there and maintain this track position. Gibbs teammates started the race in the front row. Penske teammates doing it now.
All right, here we go. Green flag's back in the air. Blaney's the leader.
Much like in the past, bottom lane dominant on the restart.
For second, look at Bell down there making a move.
And this battle for Cindric is super important. Those 2 tires, I think, have a chance, but every position he loses, the air gets dirtier, mechanical grip more important, the older lefts will be a big deficit, and he knows it. That's why he's holding Hamlin so tight.
How long can he do it, though? With Denny on those newer tires on the bottom of the racetrack, pretty much the preferred groove. He's going to have to run Denny really tight down here. Just not able to do it as Denny goes to throttle too easily. Side by side back there for fourth between the 20 and the 45. C. Bell, Reddick, battling hard. Chase Elliott in the 9 as well. We're right on board with the prime onboard camera. He's got his teammate to his outside, the 24. Almost contact over the bump there, 3 and 4, side by side behind them. Logano, Chase Briscoe trying to battle back toward the front.
You point out Briscoe, that's what I was saying. You know, lead to 4th, then a couple guys take 2. Next thing you know, you're 8th. It's just quicksand. As soon as you lose track position, you can just start to bleed position so quickly.
These cars run side by side, guys, and the inside car can make the outside car tight. That's what you want to try to do. Go down the corner, drive up to their door, get them tight and out of the gas. Back here in the back of the field, John Hunter Nemechek struggling through this traffic. This is the place where nobody's comfortable. Still battling side by side. Reddick. Byron, Chase Elliott, Logano, Briscoe. About all 3 Penske cars inside the top 10. Disappointment last week in the Coke 600. Manufacturing solid efforts tonight through strategy. And a nice game plan on track through a green flag cycle and 2 tire stops at the end of the stage.
Chase Elliott's going to fight hard trying to take this position away from his teammate. Chase and his team's been really, really consistent this year and had some solid runs. But they're used to winning races and they want to get themselves back to victory lane. And I think the mentality for him should be to be very selfish. Any opportunity, Trevor. Yeah, you're exactly right there. That's the mentality of this team, is to go win races. Earlier, when you guys were talking about the Toyota issues, the 9 car was also complaining about a similar issue. Take a listen.
Yeah, I got some brake shake right now. I'd say it's probably the biggest thing car-wise is
Guys, that was back on lap 33. He hasn't mentioned it again, so hopefully that problem's gone away. Right now, his biggest issue is the pitch of the race car, trying to get that attitude right and getting into the corner. Never thought we'd talk so much about brakes in a high-speed racetrack. Brake shake, very different than the brake pedal issue. So brake pedal, too warm, pedal travels. Brake shake, if you can believe it, too cool. And what happens, the pads don't get heat up. They don't kind of get clean on the rotor. They leave blotchy. And as you step on the pedals, it literally shakes. Not only is it irritating, but that vibration takes grip out of the race car. Fun to watch these two drivers battle side by side, lap after lap. Teammates trying to be respectful behind them to 22. And Briscoe's still going at it side by side. They haven't sorted that one out.
What about the level of concentration when you're driving lap after lap after lap with a guy right there on your door?
It's, you give your teammate a little bit extra room. But look at the side draft of Chase Elliott. He really wants the spot. I think maybe right here, can he do it? He just can't go to throttle right there in the middle of the corner. And it allows him at 24 to stay on that quarter panel and side draft and even up down the back straightaway.
Toyota side by side back behind them as well. Yeah, Briscoe and Jones going at it. Briscoe Jones in the 343.
Yeah, it's a good run from him.
Oh, caution.
Stenhouse. Huge break for all of the drivers.
Stenhouse brings out the caution. He's off the pace.
Energy drink onboard camera for Stenhouse. So a major turn of events. A lot of drivers gambled for this yellow, and they got
right rear killed.
Right rear's killed is the radio on the 47. Yeah, this is a tough break for the 47.
So that was about a 4-minute and 7-second green flag run.
Above the cut line. 17th spot. Take a look at the replay. There.
You rocked.
Lost control. Oh, man. I'm in the 5 way at the racetrack as well, trying to avoid. Oh, he just got tagged in the left rear by the 77. He's not going to be happy about that. Oh, Carson Hosebar. Yeah.
Old Hosebar strikes again.
After this one's over with.
We've known Stenhouse to hang around in the garage, right?
He was also forced to that time.
Maybe you can get him on the prime set when things are all said and done tonight.
The tough part about this, man, let's take a look. Hosebar drive down the corner. Oh, man. He had a chance to give him a break there. So, Hosebar drive down the corner. And there was a moment where Hosebar definitely had an opportunity to not do that, right? And that's the kind of things that his competitors want him to clean up. Hosebar thinks in his mind, hey, it's short track racing. I drove down in there's my spot. I'm going to move you up out of the way. But his competitors don't see it that way. Pits are open, fuel window, 79 to go. I expect everyone on pit road, a complete variety of strategies.
Pretty much, yep, everyone's pitting. A few people in the back staying out, Bubba's staying out.
With 79 to go here in stage 2, they can make it to the end of the stage from here. Denny Hamlin told Chris Gale, we've made the car 30% better at the beginning part of the run. Still too free, but it's better. Going to be fuel only for Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, and also Austin Cindric. Kim?
You see Ryan Blaney, your bottom right of the screen, he said it fired up a little better, just a snug for a couple of laps. You see him take right side tires only. Jonathan Hassler telling him.
Denny wins the race off pit road.
Hamlin the first stop.
Fucking Syndicate second.
Behind him, Blaney with a couple of tires. Falls 3 positions.
Briscoe loses a bunch of spots.
Free pass. With our
no, he
second caution
says he got a spot. I mean, he must have lost a bunch of spots in the last one.
Lap down after that speeding penalty.
Pulling out, oh man, right in front of John Hunter Nemechek. 42 has the right of way here.
From racetrack to road, Mobil One Motor Oils make whatever you drive more beautifully.
You love our legendary subs, so you'll love our legendary new Doritos footlong nachos. Doritos and Subway, 2 legends come together to...
Legends eating legends. Am I right?
Yes, thank you, Marchand. Doritos footlong nachos. Just $5, only at Subway.
When I switch between Vincent's outfits with my Bosch Twin Ram Impact driver, I feel like a savage. Like the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Oh, yeah. That's a word.
Stenhouse is on pit road. Team's still looking at the car.
One tool, two jobs.
One guy is on top of the fucking car, smashing his knee down on the back of the car. I feel like there's a better way to do that. Yep, he got the hammer. Here. He got the hammer, but now nobody's using it.
Nothing like a great duo. Two flavors.
Carson Ross Chastain Husavart.
How fast could a stock car go?
Make sure you check out Prime's exclusive in-race feature, Key Moments, during tonight's broadcast by clicking down on your remote. It's the easiest way to catch up on race highlights and flag changes as they happen. And if you're ever late to NASCAR on Prime, we've got you covered with Rapid Recap, where you can see all key race moments in 2 minutes or less. Under caution for the second time tonight, early stage 2. Things got out of shape for the driver of the 47, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Yeah, FanDuel brings us this look on board with Carson Husavart. Dale, you kind of touched on it here. We like the aggression, but this is one I would hope that Carson wants back. Right? Can't wait to talk to him after the race. I know it's happening in a blink, and he's a 22-year-old race car driver, but these are the coin flips that Carson has to give to Ricky Stenhouse if he wants to be raced with respect when it's his time. Cut down in. I like aggression. I like hard racing, but this is the one where Carson, I think, could have a little discretion there would have gone a long way. Why? Because for the 47, this is a huge moment then.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see the playoff points right now with Stenhouse below that cut line. And this team, this is a smaller team that grinds it out. This is a stubborn, hard race car driver. When we rate the drivers in speed, pit road, passing, defense, this team rates very low, but their results speak otherwise. That's because he is a tough competitor and he gets more out of his equipment than most. You can't have weekends like this. They can't have falters like this and lose all these points. You can see the frustration. Marty, it's going to be a long night riding around on this 47 car.
And as a quick reminder, they came inside the cut line into this race. Stenhouse said the steering wheel is a quarter turn off. You can kind of see where that orange stripe is, way further left than normal. And they said the toe is knocked out 1 inch. It's going to be a long night for Ricky Stenhouse from here.
Yeah, a long night with that much of a toe issue. Not sure that the Goodyear tires will even make it. Coming back on pit road as the field could be back in the restart zone.
All right.
Showing 36 cars now, 37 on the lead lap. One of those, though, is
Matt Green.
We'll lose a lap here. Hamlin, Cindric, front row for the restart.
Look at William Byron all the way up in the third lane with a ton of momentum. All that beautiful clean air up there for that 24 car. Everybody else struggling in the dirty air. You'd love to see those cars jump to the top of the racetrack and make a lot of speed. You can do that for 1 or 2 corners. Oh, a little bit of contact back in the field there. Looks like the one car of Chastain. Priest, 4 wide up the front straightaway. Look at Priest. Is that allowed? Look at Priest. He's so annoying. Priest, man, he get a bumper to you.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Priest and Chastain racing is good because they're cut from the same cloth, right?
No question. More contact right there. Chase Elliott gets a fender right there from the 42 or the 43 of Eric Jones. Cost him a spot or 2. Chastain to the bottom in front of Priest. Blocks that air. Oh!
Oh, trouble in the back.
In front of the
Bowman 48.
48 to 5 to 4. Gregson's Gregson's got a lot of damage. Bowman's done probably. I think Larson. Gregson's done.
Another caution here, early second stage.
This is Nashville. When we have cautions, 30% of the time we have another yellow inside of 5 laps.
It was just over a minute green flag run.
We hear it all the time. No track bigger than Nashville is that accurate. Let's take a look at the replay here. See how this happened. There's the 4-car. Gregson, the 48. Get down in the corner, right behind Corey Heim. Oh, the 48 gets super loose. Yeah. He just got over into the corner a little bit too hard. What a
Kyle
shot
just missed
for the
it.
4-car into the outside wall.
Larson able to hang on to it up there. Very little contact.
Yeah, look, he's got so much damage.
Your leader in Nashville.
At Napa, we're the pros that know how to make your business our business. Pros everywhere you need us, with every part you need. From brake pads to stock your shop in Orange County, California, to oil filters for your fleet in Orange County, Florida. It's why we built a nationwide network of parts and exceptional service, all driven by one mission: to keep businesses big, small, and everything in between moving full speed ahead.
Every lap, every race, every bit of pain traded for every hard-fought place. They're all jammed inside every can of NOS Energy. Go ahead, open up the can.
Like NASCAR, but don't know who to root for? Toyota's got you covered. This guy went from dirt tracks to cup cars. This new kid is all gas, no brakes. And him, just a 3-time Daytona winner, no big deal. That's just a taste of that team of legends. Now you're just you in?
I wish my TV provider let me choose what I paid for.
Sling let you do that.
I like the sound of that.
I wish my TV provider let me pause my subscription when I want.
Sling let you do that.
And I wish my TV provider let me have hundreds of free channels.
Sling let you do that too, fellow siren.
Choose and customize your channel lineup or pause and watch for free. Sling lets you do that.
The true West has no fences. There's an edge, but you gotta find it. Find comfort from the traditions that help define it, and the confidence from having the courage to defy it. But being brave isn't about being different. It's about being yourself.
Just Stenhouse done for the night.
More people in the West, but would it hurt to have a little more West in the people?
Two quick cautions in the early portion of stage 2, Nashville Super Speedway for the Cracker Barrel 400. Let's look at what's been happening on track. Fast and furious and aggressive on these restarts, Dale.
Yeah, looking to the back end here, this crash, 48 up into the left side of the 4-car. Bowman just gets down to the corner a little too hot, loose, up, corrects into the 4, and look at this shot. 4. That is a very hard, flat impact with the right side of the car. Larson does a good job to avoid everything, but you can see the 48 just get the clips right there, and it doesn't take much. Wham! 4-car hard into the wall. And then Ricky Stenhouse getting out his car in the garage. They're going to try to make some repairs, I assume. He is unhappy.
You talked about what has made them so good. And it's that bulldog mentality, not just for Ricky, but the entire team. So when you're taken out like this, I mean, it really, really pains you because you've done so much to put yourself in position for success.
And unfortunately, it looks like the 47, the work being done, so they're going to retire the car. To Dale's point, you have the ability to make repairs, but you can only change certain parts and pieces. Obviously, the damage is too heavy for the 47. 48 of Bowman back up. You go into the garage. It's an opportunity night, right? 47, 48, they're all right in that playoff picture that you talked about, Dale, right? So So who's going to take advantage? Is it a Chris Buescher? Is it maybe a Ryan Preece? You know, is there another driver around that bubble?
Michael McDowell.
Yeah, right. Are they going to capitalize on others' misfortune? Choose right here. I'd be shocked if the leader doesn't pick the bottom. Every number we studied coming here said bottom won the restart.
Getting the choose.
Time.
Been watching races here all weekend. Bottom has been the way to go. I marveled at Team Penske. And talk about some Bulldogs. They'll get after it over there in that organization. Never stop. This race so significant for them a year ago when Joey Logano won in 5 overtimes, goes on to win the championship. And after disappointment last week in the Coke 600, best finish 17th. All 3 of their cars top 5 here.
Found on board with A.J. Allmendinger here with the Bosch onboard camera. Another onboard camera we'll have tonight is the Josh Berry Ford Performance onboard cam.
He's 13th right now.
Yeah, he's moved up, taking advantage of the opportunity. Yeah, I love all these looks right here. The Toyota onboard as well with Corey Heim in the 67. That's a great look at what that rear view camera can do. That's that big display you see right on top of the dash.
Talk about a busy weekend of racing here in Nashville. Heim's second Friday in the Truck Series race, running full time there. He's finished top
ready to go back green.
12 races this year. Congratulations. Raja Karuth got the win Friday in trucks. Last night, Justin Allgaier did it here in Music City in the Xfinity Series. We're ready for the restart as we get back underway in Stage 2. Hamlin, Cindric up front, and they're headed to the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone.
Back green.
Jones out of line, little contact with Bell. Hamlin trying to get through on the bottom. And there goes Bell.
Oh, and Bell goes around.
John Nemechek in the 20 had contact all the way down into the corner, and it spins Bell around. Heavy damage. And we saw the same thing last year with Christopher
But a
Bell.
19-second green flag run.
Last year won both stages, and then wrecked on a restart in that final stage. It looks like again in a bad spot.
Last year, Bell led 131 laps in this race, and it came around on him here. Contact with the 43 of Eric Jones. Everybody racing tight for position.
Yeah, Jones to the inside here, and just he thought the 20 came down on him. He wasn't ready to give that up. He didn't like, I think, what happened there on the front straightaway and just stayed with it. Yeah, I think I had John Hunter Nemechek as the guy. It was Jones, similar paint schemes got me. Let's take a look from on board. The prime camera for Chase Elliott. He's going to get a big view of this 20.
Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Easy. Down. Keep going, keep going. Good. One inside, two inside here. Any damage?
Right on board with the Ryan Preece here, and you can see. Check. And I don't know if the 9 did get just a little bit of that. See his car wiggle a little bit like he might have contacted the 20. Let's take a look.
Very little, if at all. 4th caution of the night. 3 already in Stage 2.
What's good, Nascar fans? They say rubbing and racing and betting is better with DraftKings. From race winner to driver props and everything in between, the DraftKings Sportsbook is waving the green flag on all the action. Speaking of green, here's how you can take a shot at some this week. DraftKings Sportsbook is an authorized gaming operator of NASCAR. And this week, DraftKings has an exclusive offer for racing fans. Just download the app or use the promo code SPEED when you sign up.
Why would I use Hims to have my ED meds delivered to my door? I love pharmacy lines.
Why would I use clinically proven ingredients to regrow my hair through Hims? I love wearing hats 24/7.
Why would I choose weight loss treatment I can afford through Hims? I love selling off my prized possessions.
Why wouldn't I get high quality care I can trust? I love Hims. Get treatment you'll actually love at hims.com.
Ever since we hired Dale Jr. at IHOP, breakfast has been moving fast. Look, it's pancakes! Dine-in delivery catering.
Will you send my pancakes?
From racetrack to road, the Mobil One Motor Oils make whatever you drive more beautifully.
Don't wish. Don't dream. No. Plan. See the steps it takes to get it done right, and follow them. At Avis, we wreck cars, unlike anyone else wrecks cars. Because for 75 years, we've only had one plan. To make sure you keep yours.
What's the difference between Sonny Hayes and Joshua Pierce?
A lot of decades, says the guy who still lives in his room. Climb the mountain to get him. He's cocky, he's arrogant. You were cocky, you were arrogant.
Yeah, Bowman's in the garage.
Anything else, Professor?
Try fast. Get it!
F1 the movie. Rated PG-13. Only in theaters and IMAX. June 27th.
All the danger, drama, and speed without the pit stops. Stream high-octane hits like Reacher, Gladiator 2, and Twisters. It's on Prime. I'm a big Reacher fan. Love me some Reacher on Prime. This relief lap sponsored by National Debt Relief. When debt hits hard, National Debt Relief gets you back on track. J.J. Yaley getting his lap back here in Nashville.
Puts 44 back on the lead lap.
Tonight really is, right now, the land of opportunity. We talked about it. I mean, so many cars on the lead lap, all these cautions bunching everybody up, and we talked about some of these drivers right around the cut line having issues.
And I'm going to try not to jinx them, but I just want to point out Team Penske. I made a big deal out of it because I thought it was a big thing. Kind of nowhere to be seen last week speed-wise after everything that happened in the Indy 500. I thought it would slow down the Penske Fords. Maybe it's just a handling thing for Charlotte because there's nothing slow about these three Penske Fords right now. You see Cindric, Blaney, Logano all in the front two rows.
I would say this too, when you look at drivers that haven't won this year, Ryan Blaney on the list. Playoff field is half full. 13 races till we start running for a championship. He's someone to keep an eye on.
Yeah, another car that I'm keeping an eye on that we haven't seen yet, we thought we might see, is Chastain. He's sitting there 13th right now, several rows back. Just hasn't really moved his way forward like we might have expected. He had good speed practice, but just hasn't been able to get the track position.
See if we can get a clean restart here.
Yeah.
And then to Coleman Presley, spotting for Joey Logano, driver 22
right.
going outside row 2.
Getting ready to go back green.
Leaders 10 away. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Back green.
Go. Head line with you. Little daylight, corner line, 3 wide behind, end line behind. Room in front, 3 wide behind you. Briscoe up top, Briscoe up top. Half top, half top, half top. Still clear up, just Blaney. Still clear up. 1 to Briscoe, who's clear. Briscoe is clear, 3/4. Half, he is clear. Half, he is clear. Quarter, he is clear. Headlight up. Dropping. Keep it boxed. Headlight higher, momentum to you. Half in line. Half, he's defending your gaps. 3/4, he is clear. 3/4, he is clear. Briscoe is clear and dropping. He's defending your gaps. 2, 2, 3. 3, tops a little closer, still there. Shore. Half lane up, quarter, bumper, barely clear. Clear once you cross. Half to you. Half, both to you. 3/4 now, almost 1. Eyes forward. Drop.
How about that stream of information? Just a stream of consciousness from Coleman Presley. Sounds like shorthand. I think you get the clear and the gaps and things like that. But how about a headlight higher, a headlight lower? Dale talked about that arrow blocking and the camera and everything they can use. That was great information. Reddick falling back. Yeah, he's waving. He's trying to get to pit road. They must have a loose wheel or some type of an issue.
Reddick might have an issue. Yeah, he does have an issue.
Was way up the racetrack on the first corner.
Can't get to pit road, though.
And he's dropped to the back of the field like a rock.
Think about all the trouble this team has had recently. Outside the top 10, 5 consecutive races. Last week, so good at Charlotte. Had the speeding penalty, and here he is going the wrong direction again.
Kyle Larson came to pit road with a loose wheel issue as well. His 45 may be suffering from the same problem. There's the 5 on the racetrack now. Let's listen into the 5.
No, we got a pit. I think we may have a wheel issue. We got a pit. Sorry, pit.
clear information from Cliff Daniels. They look at post-pit stop data, and they can decide if the wheels are tight or not tight. They call Larson to pit road as the field took the green. Reddick stays on the racetrack, though, this time by. Not sure if he got some...
Yeah, Larson's not a lap down, but 27 seconds back.
Trying to allow everybody to get him to the inside. But he does stay on the racetrack, but he is still off the pace a little bit to the rest of the field. Down the back straightaway, he's fading to the middle. He must be coming to pit road.
Yeah, Junior Tyler Reddick thinks he might have a flat tire, so here he comes to pit road as well. What a chaotic stage 2 here at Nashville. Reddick, who has one of the best cars all evening long, thinks he has a flat, coming to pit road right now.
Marty, you got to check it when it comes off. It's really hard on these lower profile tires, but the left rear looks soft to me. The left side tire doesn't look like it has as much air. It's hard because they run very little air pressure. He restarted 7th. Here he is on pit road. 172 to go. There's time to come back from it. We'll see if that left rear is low on air or not, but either way, Reddick, hitting's better than wrecking. If you have a tire going down, at some point you just have to come. Great battle right here on the top of your screen. 54 of Ty Gibbs. He needs a great run. This team struggled this year to get the performance that they're used to. Josh Berry and the Wood Brothers 21. He struggled with his car. I talked to him today. He's really worried about the performance in this 21 car. Didn't think they had a great practice. Wasn't sure what to expect out of his race car today.
But the door's open now for both these drivers because they've established track position, and you just said it, Steve. That long
trouble! Corey Heim. Corey Heim brings out the caution.
And here goes Corey Heim in the 67.
Down there in front of everybody on the front straightaway. They do a good job of slowing down to avoid the 67 car. Corey had great speed in practice, qualified respectfully.
So that was like a 3 minute and like 40 something second green flag run.
Toyota 2311, they believe in him. He's a rocket in the truck series.
You can't make it up. I mean,
Corey Heim.
They have Bubba and Talladega. Outside of that, I mean, these are the highlights, right? This is the good news that they have to spread. There have been so many tough moments for this organization.
See how this happened. I was expecting a great run out of this kid tonight. Here he is running on the inside of Keselowski off of turn 4 and just doesn't give Brad the room. Yeah, he just doesn't give Brad the room, and
he was racing inside the top 15.
I mean, and I was not surprised by that. Let's look on board here. Oh, man. I love they listened to that again because I thought spotter outside 6 was the information that he received. I don't know if he just didn't think he was that high or what happened, but it seemed like he was getting accurate information. Yeah, I will tell you that on the exit of this corner, the wall sneaks up on you quick. Much closer, you mean to your right. Yeah. Okay. So you run out of room, and there's a lot more room off of turn 2. The very tight exit off of 4. Let's listen again on this replay.
77 trying to go inside. Not there. Outside 7, lane 3. Outside 6 still.
You're right, Steve. You got the correct information. It's just a misjudgment on his part now. Hard hits.
Silver lining here for 2311. Free pass, Tyler Reddick, so he's back on the lead lap. Hamlin, Blaney, Logano, the top 3. You're watching NASCAR on Prime.
Subway's meal of the day gives you 7 of our most legendary subs, packed with protein and fresh chopped veggies for just $6.99.
Did you sleep here? You know we.
Get 7 legendary subs with chips and a drink for $6.99 each at Subway today.
Run ultra fast. You need an advanced dynamic system. Now the Denbix Motor X tire inflator has one. It shatters industry stereotypes. As portable as the small, as powerful as the large. A leading power bank. Powerful light. Beyond your imagination. Denbix Motor X redefines your journey.
I used to be an early bird, but psoriatic arthritis stopped my day before it started. Then things started to change for me when I found Bimzelx. Now I can't wait to say I'm back.
Bimzelx can deliver transformative relief of joint pain and stiffness, less fatigue, and for some, zero swollen joints.
I'm back to what inspires me.
Serious side effects like suicidal thoughts and behavior, infections and lowered ability to fight them, liver problems, and inflammatory bowel disease have occurred. Tell your doctor if these happen or worsen, or fevers, chills, muscle aches, or cough occur, or you've had a vaccine or plan to. Before starting, get checked for infections, tuberculosis, and liver problems.
Give yourself a chance to say, I'm back.
Ask your doctor about Bimzelx.
To tell you the truth, we could take or leave the extravagance. The attention, the celebrity, the bragging rights, the bravado. Because all we've ever really wanted is for every Ford driver to feel this.
It takes a lot to get my heart racing, but you gotta see this. There's absolutely nothing like NASCAR's own street race. This 4th of July weekend, NASCAR takes over Chicago, where you can get an up-close look at the sport's best drivers as they battle through downtown. And with live music from Zach Brown Band and Family Fun, it's a NASCAR experience on a whole other level. Hey, I'll be on the edge of my seat. NASCAR Chicago Street Race, July 5th and 6th.
Under caution in Nashville, let's do the IHOP surprise move of the race, Steve.
Yeah, the surprise is really a mistake out of Corey Heim, the driver of the 67. 15 truck wins, only his 5th Cup start, but this young man, tons of talent. Spotter is telling him that Brad Keselowski is to his outside. Brad holding his lane. The 67 just, as Dale pointed out, loses kind of track of what needs to be a whole lane left. He doesn't leave enough room, drives across the 6's nose. Next thing you know, Corey Heim out of the race. This is a great view right here on board. You'll see it. You'll see how much damage it is on the 6. Pretty hard contact, but big surprise, Corey Heim making a mistake like that.
Yeah, that is a lot of contact for the 6 of Keselowski. And he's probably like, what's the deal?
That top 5 last week for Brad Keselowski. Marty?
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. out of the infield care center, and you and I were chatting about it before you went in. What was your take on the contact from Carson Hocevar?
A lap or two before he tried to dive in there from about 10 car lengths back, and then that time I just opened my entry a little bit, and he overcharged the corner and just drilled us in the rear bumper. So I'd say it's not out of the norm for him, but I definitely wasn't expecting that at that point in the race. Just bummer for us. Our whole alternate gearing available at Amazon Camaro wasn't great, but we were kind of making changes. I felt like that restart, I was a little bit better than where I was the run before. And
yeah, I love Hocevar, but I don't know why he's doing all that.
Off there throughout the run. So bummed that our day ended like that. Definitely have something to do about it at one point.
Unfortunately, the first DNF of the year for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 4017.
What's up, Andy?
That'd be a translation of the last line. It sounds to me that sometimes he's not going to cut Hocevar a break.
How you doing? I'm doing good.
Kim?
Just enjoying the race.
It was interesting. I was talking to Carson this morning just about all the talk around him, whether it's good or it's bad. And he said, I want people to make noise about me. And he said specifically, I'm not going to change how I drive or how I talk or how
I feel like we have more spins. Oh, for sure.
Specific mold people want. So it should be interesting to see how he feels after the race based on Ricky's comments, Marty.
Yeah, just to follow up real quick on Tyler Reddick, it was indeed the right front, actually, Steve, that was down, and it was down by 20 pounds, Billy Scott told me. They just pitted again, so now he'll restart 34th with one of the quicker cars in the field.
Bad luck, but great choice. That's what you have to do. When we talk about experience, you can only convince yourself so long that you don't have a problem until it's a catastrophic failure. Great work by Tyler Reddick, just admitting it, right, Dale? And coming to pit road, getting a free pass, now he has the whole race in front of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Still a lot of racing left. And the quarter restart right here with Denny Hamlin.
Here we go.
Blaney on the outside. 2 more pits.
Green flag.
Let's get some green flag action. Already 4 cautions in the early part of this stage.
They're not listening. 3 wide, 4 wide back here in the pack. Byron again with that high move. This time, though, I don't know if it's going to work.
And he's gotten a row every time he's done this, and he gets another one right there. But down into turn 3 and 4, he'll fade back to the bottom of the racetrack.
I felt like it wasn't going to work. He just kept going higher, and here he is again.
And he's getting another one right there around the 22 of Logano, easily passing the 22.
Make a note, late restarts, that 24 fires off great.
Hey, Eric Jones right in this game, too. 43 has been outstanding tonight. Top 15, 2 of the last 3 races, including a top 5 at Texas.
Battles down the back straightaway, side by side with the 22 of Logano.
3 wide.
20 car of C. Bell thought they didn't get too much damage in that crash in turn 1 and 2 on a restart just moments ago, and he's working around some cars.
March is back up to 19th.
Right here on the outside. I'm guilty to think the 20 was wrecked. I thought his day was over.
You're back inside the top 20.
Yeah. 3 wide right here. Priest, Josh Berry, Chastain. And Hocevar. This is an interesting mix. Very interesting mix. Chastain trying to side draft right there. Berry's going to try to drive down in front of him and take the air away.
Shane Van Gisbergen, 88, the rookie. Chase Elliott coming around in the 941, Cole Custer. 71, Michael McDowell flashing into the picture again. He's up there in 8th. He's just really done a great job tonight. And as you look at the live playoffs leaderboard, he's above the cut line. 21, Josh Berry getting after the outside lane.
It feels a lot like a stage 3 type energy. And I think it's the night time. It's the right time. These guys are racing really hard. 50 laps or 45 laps to go at this stage. And man, the intensity just feels really
Jaden,
high
it's
at this
over.
moment. And I love showing it. We focus a lot on the lead when the race is won, but back here,
It's all over.
You know, this is like a Broadway bar fight back here. I mean, you don't know where
We're
the
just
places are coming from.
doing the victory laps now.
I don't want to participate, by the way, in case you were wondering.
McDowell's doing a good job right there on the inside of Gibbs, trying to keep that spot running in the top 10 most of the night with this number 71 Spire Chevrolet.
And Gibbs is doing a great job tonight.
He is. They struggled.
And you know, Hocevar, great practice yesterday. Didn't have a great qualifying run, but now he's racing his teammate for position.
Yeah, Hocevar worked around the 71.
Kyle's on the 20th. Well, he was.
Kind of in the dirty air of the 54. And
Now he back is. Now he's back not. Now he back is.
And he's going to do it off of turn 2. Riding on board the Ford Performance camera with Josh Berry. Oh, right to the inside there. The 38, Zane Smith working his way up into the top 11.
We got to give him some credit. Second in this race last year, best career finish. But you know what? On their green flag stop at the end of stage 1, they took 2 tires so they could stay on the lead lap. That's what kept them in the game, and now they've got some track position. Talking about the California driver, Zane Smith.
Chaos starting to calm down a little bit. Yeah. Settle in here, just run some laps.
We're on the chip, you know what I mean?
Busy. Trevor. Yes, sir. Keep in mind that 21 car in practice is one of those cars that hit the bumps and spun out early. They felt like their practice kind of got thrown away, but they went to their partners over at Penske, or if that alliance with the Wood Brothers Ford, and saw that 12 was so strong, so they kind of went that direction with their setup. Just a minute ago, though, they're still looking for some more speed so they can do some strategy. Take a listen.
Still working on it. We're a bit too far off on pace to do anything crazy here. We'll just keep working on the car until we get his drive better, and then we'll try and do some strategy stuff later, get some track position once we get the pace better.
You guys said it earlier, Steve. You got to have a good car to get off sequence. Maybe they can get this 21 dialed in. That's absolutely the case, right? It's easy to call strategy when you have a fast race car because if you're not perfect, you know the speed will at least kind of mask some of the poor decisions. There's the one at Chastain, but that 20 car, Christopher Bell, is the one that's impressive right now. He was backwards and in the wall just minutes ago, and now he's working to the inside of Chastain, taking 13th spot away and looking for more.
I've always used the phrase driving angry, maybe just additional motivation after the adversity, whatever it is. We haven't talked a lot about Bell hanging there 5th, 7th, 8th, gets involved in that accident, and since that time, he is just really driving that thing up through there.
Wrecked it correctly? I mean, is that, are we, like, very rarely do you hit things that make it go faster, but sometimes it happens.
It's kind of like Edwards on the backflip when he was winning here. You just stick the landing, right? Then you're okay.
Wow. Let's just remind everybody the wreck that this 20 was in, right? So you see the 43 of Jones going to get to the left side of the 20 and just basically holds his spot. You know, they're fighting over the bottom lane. So he's not going full speed, but this is not zero contact. I mean, he's going to go all the way up and watch this contact with the outside wall. That's pretty hard contact.
Yeah, the lucky part, I think, is there wasn't real hard contact with the left front, knocking the front toe out. As we look at the battle for the lead, tightening up a little bit between Hamlin and Blaney.
Blaney last changed left side tires at lap 69. Jonathan Hassler brought his A game tonight. They've done some really, really good stuff to keep him not just in the game, but advance forward after starting 15th. And they've got a chance to take the lead here.
We used to talk about gambling. Hey, let's try something different and try a gamble. When I go back and review how these races are run, and specifically how they're won, the top 5, they call the race in what I would consider an absolute gamble. That has become the norm. What a gamble is now is something outside of even perception or the idea that you would even try it 5 years ago. These crew chiefs continue to move the line. We see it a lot in other sports as well. Data analytics have changed the decision making. You see Jonathan Hassler on the bottom of the screen. You and I spent some time with him in Team Penske, Adam. Just a great conversation we had with Jonathan, his relationship with Blaney, the trust they have in one another.
Great leader for the team.
Absolutely.
He's the coach. Blaney's the quarterback. Right now, they're executing the game plan. Hamlin leads at Nashville.
Don't miss your chance to race for the millions.
Finalists, are you ready?
The Nascar Powerball Playoff is back. Enter now to win a VIP trip to the Nascar Cup Series Championship race at Phoenix Raceway, where you could take home $1 million.
Contestant number 2.
The race for the million is on. Powerball, the official lottery game of NASCAR, home to the Nascar Powerball Playoff.
The 3 for me, only at Chili's, keeps getting even better with the all-new Big QP and all this for just $10.99. With 85% more beef, it makes a quarter-pound burger look tiny and, well, yeah, tiny. This Chili's 3 for me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
Yeah, I'm still holding. If my AC company had Agent Force, the powerful AI from Salesforce, an AI agent would have flagged the issue and automatically helped me find someone to service it. What?
Wow, you are moist. Well, how'd you get an appointment?
It just magically showed up. Agent Force, sir.
Huh. Sorry, there's cold air getting out.
Agent Force helps manufacturers prevent appliance defiance. It's what AI was meant to be.
What causes a curve? Is it Peyronie's disease? Is there somebody I can talk to for help?
I got somebody for that. I got somebody for that. I got somebody for that.
You guys got somebody for Peyronie's disease? There's hope for the estimated 1 in 10 men who may have Peyronie's disease, or PD. A urology specialist who treats PD can help you create a plan, including non-surgical options. Find somebody today at GoGetSomebody.com.
From racetrack to road, Mobil 1 Motor Oils make whatever you drive more beautifully.
This is a place to worship the Father.
But you make it a den of thieves.
You serpents! How will you escape being condemned to hell?
The Chosen, Last Supper.
Laps to go. Stage 2, Cracker Barrel 400, Nashville Super Speedway. NASCAR on prime. Denny Hamlin, the race leader. Blaney is there. Byron, Logano, Eric Jones in the top 5. Briscoe, Cedric, Gibbs, Osavar, McDowell in the top 10. Let's look at the pylon. Yeah. And break down the teams that are represented. There, 11 different organizations, top 15 last Sunday in the Coke 600. We've seen a lot of wealth being spread again this evening.
Yeah, Eric Jones in 4th.
You mentioned Blaney on the older left
5th.
tire. You have to imagine when they do get even on tires, he's going to have a little bit of an advantage in speed. He's kind of holding right here, this same margin.
Osavar McDowell, 9th and 10th. Zane Smith in 11th.
The car all that hard. Kind of closing the gap here, though. Looking like we might have a battle on our hands for 4 laps.
You look at the season for Blaney. highs and lows. He's had some wonderful runs, but 5 DNFs, tied for the most in the series. And then you look at his numbers here at Nashville Super Speedway, kind of the same.
Tied for the most in the series? Who is he tied with?
The other two
Anybody know?
top 10.
A little bit faster that last lap. You saw it a 10th quicker. The 24 of Byron is closing on these two as well. He's right there if these two get to racing pretty hard. Right to the outside. Oh, the 11 the back. He slides up the track, and that does two things. Allows him to save the race car, but also gets in the way of that 12 car. But Blaney's right here.
Here's Blaney.
Straightaway goes to the bottom, down to the middle. And they're getting that information. He's getting the information of the car behind him. Big arc, so that means he's up on your right rear. On entry.
We are past halfway, by the way.
One car length back.
There's 12 cars driving. 1.5, 1 lane higher.
DNF spread, I think.
In line right behind you. That's great information from the spotter.
I think you might be right.
Seeing this on the camera as well. Digital camera, very clear. Oh, hear him on that throttle. Just can't really finish the throttle. Have to be careful going back to gas.
12 has to be a little careful because when he jumps to the outside like that, he knows the 11 when he pulls up, that's going to steer that dirty air across the nose of the 12. Like right here, the 11's going to purposely kind of shut that air off. At the same time you go over those bumps, it can be in a bad situation if you're not careful.
You catch a lap car right here, but not much lap traffic beyond the 66. So clean air for Denny Hamlin to work with. 25 left to go in stage 2. Denny's probably just running hard enough. Wants to save a little bit of tire. Doesn't need to push the car any harder than he has to. This asphalt or this concrete's brushed and abrasive, and you can beat the tire up and really use it up and nose over on lap time late in the run. So he's probably running just hard enough to keep that 12 car bothered back there. Kim.
And Blaney's surprisingly quiet right now on the radio. That car very good on the long run, but Steve talked about the grief he gave Team Penske last weekend. Well, Jonathan Hassler said, I don't know why people are so worried. Yes, we have 5 DNFs, but our mentality for the second half of the regular season is it's not over. This team, they told me, expects to win multiple races before the playoffs. Their biggest obstacle coming into tonight was overcoming a bad qualifying effort. They did that with strategy. Blaney running in the second position.
And Kim, he scored 110 stage points, right? They're there every week in the early portion of the race.
Very defensive move by the 11.
Absolutely, that's what that was.
I think the sign of relief everybody's waiting for is after you win your first, right? Because it's one thing to say you're going to win some, and I agree with Jonathan. They have the speed. I don't think he's just crazy and making things up. But the first one basically guarantees the playoffs. That takes the pressure off those DNFs.
I'll say this about Hassler. He's a positive guy. I'd say glass half full, but he's also honest. And when you have that combination, it really allows you to make the right decisions and give your team the proper setup week in, week out. Little wiggle there for the 12.
Yeah, Blaney is so good. That car is so fast.
And this, the 11 blocking the 12, you see just behind the 12, here comes the Byron. Oh, there he is.
Almost to the right rear quarter panel. Denny's going to clear off the corner, though. But the 12 is right there. We're going to find out whether Denny's got more in his pocket, a little more race car than he's showing.
1 lane higher, about 2.
Great corner right there for Denny. But the momentum's off the top of the 12. Here comes Blaney down the back straightaway. Oh, the 11 bobbles over the bump right there, but he slides up in front of the 12, so Blaney can't finish throttle in the dirty air. Here comes the 24 closing in on this battle. Byron.
It's great. 3 teams.
20 to go on the stage. Byron's looking to get in this picture.
You got a champion there. You got Daytona 500 winners there.
12 sliding around there in the middle of the corner now. He's got to look in the
Some
mirror.
great racing.
A little bit more defense. Oh, the 12
Just Blaney.
lose the nose right here. This is awesome.
And now Byron ain't running to run right. Yeah.
Byron's now looking to get in this picture. Yep, now Blaney's on offense and defense. Mainly on defense now.
Denny's going to block one of them. Take the air away from the 12.
Had a great finish to stage 1. 19 to go stage 2. And they're getting after it again. William Byron to second, and he's thinking about the race.
And here goes Byron for the lead.
Hamlin in turn 3.
24 nailed one up the track. Oh, I thought he was going to get the 11 right there. He got him tight, so then he couldn't finish the corner. So they're going to be side by side right here.
Byron.
He said, okay, Byron, it worked for you. Now I'll wait in the wings and take my opportunity to pounce.
Byron was loose on entry to 3, but he got the 11 tight so that the 11 couldn't get the throttle. Then he's going to try to side draft or try to even up down the back straightaway. The 24 stays away to keep that from happening. 24 backs up turn 3 right here. Back the throttle.
Yeah, Byron got a great run there.
Then he's going to have the momentum on
Nice
the
battling.
Here comes the
Looks like Denny's going to lead that lap.
This is unreal racing.
Here comes Blaney.
3 wide on the flat.
Blaney's going to try to make it 3 wide. Here he comes on the inside. Oh my God. Wow, this is some great fucking racing. And Denny Hamlin has to back up. Ryan Blaney side by side with Byron. 17 laps to go in stage 2. Ryan Blaney to the lead. Leads that lap.
Absolutely. What a great couple of laps from these 3. So much fun to watch. What a great racetrack. Really wide, providing us with a lot of options to corners.
Clean and precise at the front. Blaney, Byron, Hamlin. 16 to go on the stage.
Gotta love racing, man.
At AT&T, we confidently guarantee our network.
Oh, no.
What we can't guarantee, you and your teammates being too connected.
What up, Chad?
Double oh no.
I texted you guys. I was going.
I would have. I got Greg's first this morning. I thought you said you were going to
A connection means something. That's why with AT&T, you'll proactively make it right with a credit for a full day of service if there is a network interruption. That's the AT&T guarantee.
At Napa, we're the pros that know how to make your business our business. Pros everywhere you need us, with every part you need. From brake pads to stock your shop in Orange County, California, to oil filters for your fleet in Orange County, Florida. It's why we built a nationwide network of parts and exceptional service, all driven by one mission: to keep businesses big, small, and everything in between moving full speed ahead.
An unprecedented transcontinental race begins on Nintendo Switch 2. Mario Kart World. Game rated E for everyone.
Welcome to more new ways to watch. A 5-race stretch on Prime. More bright lights. More lights. More Motor City speed. More passion unleashed. More history made. More precision displayed. More moments you can't miss. And for the first time, only on Prime. Welcome to Nascar.
Closing on 10 laps to go, stage 2 at Nashville. Let's give you a Team Chevy update. William Byron, best of the bunch. Look at the guys from Spire, Hocevar and McDowell in the top 10. And the 77 on Hocevar, really strong late in the stage. Here's Marty.
Adam, just a quick update on Alex Bowman, who is still in the garage and still in the car after that wreck earlier on. They have to change the left front upper on the 48 car, also the dry brake for the fuel. But what took so long and is taking so long is Blake Harris told me NASCAR made them change the rear bumper of the car. So to help with that, Jesse Saunders, who's the car chief for Kyle Larson, came over to make that happen. Remember, this is the team currently in the playoffs, above the cut line on points, but losing valuable points sitting back here in the garage area trying to make repairs in Nashville.
NASCAR has said that if you go to the garage to make repairs, they're going to take the time. This car is designed where the bumpers are the crush zone. So if they had to change the bumper, that tells me that it had already crushed enough that NASCAR felt like it wouldn't be functional in a secondary wreck. So that's why they asked them to change it.
Marty talks about the points. Right now, Bowman 48 above the cut line. And then I go to Chase Briscoe, starts on the pole. He had a good run there in the opening stage, gets 8 points. But here he is sliding back and in danger of falling outside the top 10 at the end of stage 2. Now we do our credit one bank, ones to watch.
Well, let's focus on Briscoe. You mentioned it, falling back, he's 9th, but Briscoe's led 51 laps tonight. He's only led 30 laps all year long for Joe Gibbs Racing. Back-to-back
8 to go on the stage.
9th doesn't seem great, but remember last week he went all the way to the back, came back to 3rd, hang around the top 10 long enough, maybe make adjustments at the right time. The 43 of Eric Jones having a great run tonight, running in 5th place. This is actually the most laps he's ran in the top 5 in a race in over a year, way back in Phoenix. Man, this is a great run for this 43 team.
If you're going to be successful in NASCAR, you have to be able to put the bad ones behind you. Carson Hocevar, great in practice yesterday. Didn't qualify where he wanted to, but here he is tonight, finding his way to the front. Really good late in this run. He's 7th. Now, the second-year driver just needs to finish the deal, something he couldn't do last Sunday in the Coke 600. Those are credit one bank, ones to watch.
I love this onboard right here. I'm going to zoom in. Check this out. That is the mirror. That is what he is looking at. That is a high-def camera off the back roof of this car. Crystal clear right now because the 77 is rolling forward. We should check back in after a restart. We had some traffic back there. You'll be able to see. It's like a high-def video game. He's driving as much out of that camera on the top of his dash as he is the windshield just above it.
He's comfortable with that because he is a gamer. 77, picking up another one, going around Austin Cindric, or trying to anyway. 5 to go, stage 2.
Got 5 to go on the stage.
All those laps that he was able to run in practice. Hocevar, just a little bit of a wiggle right there. Chasing the car off the racetrack. He had great speed in practice, and it's not a fluke anymore. You know, we saw it last week at the 600. We've seen it several times this year where this team's ran really competitive laps in practice and shown up in the race to be able to back it up. Happened again tonight. Starting to be a weekly thing for Hocevar, and not a stretch to think that they could win a race this year.
And I know you just highlighted Eric Jones, but it just continues to remind me the improvements in Legacy Motor Club has made. Right? This has been an impressive trajectory, running 5th. It's been, it's been his teammate Nemechek that's been the more impressive one over the last probably 3 or 4 weeks. So Eric wants to go out there and perform and show what the gains that the team has made, and he's doing it tonight. And if you look at the pylon here, Byron, Hamlin, Logano, Blaney still has the low left side tires on, and he's jumping out to a 2.2-second lead. So that tells me if you're Rudy Fugle, if you're the crew chief of the 24, right? If you're Chris Gale, the crew chief for Denny Hamlin, you need to let your driver know, I know you think we're close, we're not. We need more speed. Do you have a balance issue? If not, maybe there's some less air pressure in the rear tires. Maybe there's a better aero position. I need to find something for my driver to try to keep up.
Hocevar still getting after Cindric. 2 laps to go in the stage.
Zane Smith there in 8th, 2nd. But this is a good track back-to-back for Zane Smith.
But, I mean, look at the teams. I mean, Legacy Motor Club, you guys talked about Spire up there with Hocevar and McDowell. Front row represented with Zane Smith. There's Blaney. 1 to go in the stage.
Hocevar. Bottom of the screen is 77. Hocevar to the inside. Gets a little bit loose. Can't finish.
So final lap of the stage.
We just need a Hocevar cam. Dude, just all day. Just follow Hocevar.
Blaney's leading
by
over 2.5 seconds.
Month and a half
Pulled out there after that battle.
For Blaney, they've been the best on pit road since then, and we know how big pit stops are going to be, trying to maintain track position control this race at the end of the stage.
And Ryan Blaney is going to win stage 2 from Nashville Superspeedway in Lebanon, Tennessee.
Hocevar's going to try to inch him in the line. Just behind him. per the monitor. Now, NASCAR will look at that by camera.
So that was about a 15-minute green flag run.
And I say the 25th stage went to Blaney. 25th time he's won stage 2. But he only went on to win 2 of the previous 24. He's the man in charge in Nashville. Great to have you with us on a Sunday evening in Music City. You're watching NASCAR on Prime.
Racing isn't just a game. It's a way of life. Every lap, every moment. Practice is about consistency. Winning doesn't come easy. Yo! My turn, Bubba. Fuel the road. Own the race. Logitech G wheels and pedals available now on Amazon.
The only way to save the ranch is to take it.
Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2 is now available on DVD and Blu-ray with over 2 hours of special features. Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2. Own it now on DVD and Blu-ray.
Own a design studio. Win a really big design contract. Realize you're more of a creative type than a finance type. Realize you got this. Use QuickBooks to get your cash flow flowing. Get live expert assistance to maximize your tax savings.
I can help with that.
Get back to doing what you love. Manage and grow your business all in one place. Intuit QuickBooks, your way to money.
Meet the IHOP House Faves value menu. Everything's just $6. Like the breakfast faves combo, $6. French toast breakfast, $6. $6 for all this and all that. That's a lot of breakfast for $6. Weekdays at IHOP.
Travel. It's gone from being an adventure to a checklist. But the world is still full of wonder. You just need a better way to find it. Introducing Airbnb Experiences. Master ramen with an award-winning chef. Dive into underground jazz with a renowned bassist. Or see Notre Dame with her. She helped restore it, by the way. Don't just see a place. Experience it.
Online security is, like, as a mom, one of the very highest priorities. There's so many things that we have to watch out for. With Spectrum, I don't have to worry about it. I know when my kids are on their devices, they are protected because I'm not always sitting right next to them.
So Ryan Blaney is the winner of stage 2.
The activity, the security, everything is kind of all in one. That absolutely makes it worth it to me.
Fast, reliable internet, starting at $30 a month, backed by the Spectrum commitment to keep you connected.
2 stages down here at Nashville Super Speedway. Cup Series, Ryan Blaney in charge right now, and entertaining stage 2.
Tires for everyone here. The question is, how valuable is fuel to you? Leave on tires, short on gas. Hang out a little bit longer, you can fill it up, Trevor.
Yes, sir. Joey Logano was one of those cars that didn't take any tires last time. You might see a little longer stop here on a sport tire stop. They've been battling the short run versus long run for the balance on this car, Marty.
Denny Hamlin said, holy smokes, man, I lost all of my rear grip on entry and exit at the end of the run. Also, his drink system inside the 11 car is not working. Chris Gale said, wait on me. We're going to wait on you.
Chassis adjustment for William Byron. He just needed...
Denny Hamlin can't get water. So it's...
Rudy had told him to save fuel there at the end if he wasn't having anything for Blaney. So you didn't see him wait there. Blaney, though, he said, tighten me up, a little free and clean air.
Logano won the race off pit road there. Up one spot.
Plus 3 to the top. But NASCAR's going to take a look at this. Watch this fuel man tries to stay plugged in as long as possible. Gets engaged, falls. We're going to have to see if that can't cross the line. It'll be a penalty, or did he get a little stick save like a hockey player?
I used to be an early bird, but psoriatic arthritis stopped my day before it started. Then things started to change for me when I found Bimzelx. Now I can't wait to say I'm back.
Bimzelx can deliver transformative relief of joint pain and stiffness, less fatigue, and for some, zero swollen joints.
I'm back to what inspires me.
Buried to the rear.
Side effects like suicidal thoughts, infections, and
Buried to the rear for crew member over the wall too soon.
Bowel disease have occurred. Tell your doctor if these happen or worsen, or fevers, chills, muscle aches, or cough occur, or you've had a vaccine or plan. to. Before starting, get checked for infections, tuberculosis, and liver problems.
Give yourself a chance to say, I'm back.
Ask your doctor about Bimzelx.
Ever since we hired Dale Jr. at IHOP, breakfasts have been moving fast. All right, 4 plates of pancakes, got a serve, table green, go, go, go!
Is that Tilton?
Order for catering?
Look, it's
Pancakes!
Dine-in delivery catering.
Will you sign my pancakes?
From racetrack to road, Mobile One Motor Oils make whatever you drive more beautifully.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. The heartbeat's strong, steady, unwavering, like the people who keep this country moving, doing what they do best. Helping neighbors, pitching in, getting it done. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. And every Chevy truck, every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Nascar on Prime in the Motor City. Let's see how fast this thing will go. Concrete is standing on. Man, we're in Michigan. I seem to remember being pretty fast here.
Victory for Dale Earnhardt Jr. William Cloud at Michigan International Speedway.
How about that? Come on! It's NASCAR on Prime!
Extreme Michigan Sunday. NASCAR. It's on Prime.
We hit June on the calendar. The summer stretch is here. We're heading to Michigan next week, Friday. ARCA, 5 Eastern FS2. Truck qualifying Saturday. Truck practice qualifying as well. See it on Prime Video. Truck race on Fox Saturday afternoon. It's Sunday. It's round 15, 2 Eastern. NASCAR on Prime.
NASCAR green lit 22, no penalty. Let's take a look. First thing is the can plugged in when the car leaves the box? It isn't, and does the can go out? So we're going to see the gas man. He gets it unplugged before the car leaves the pit box.
Okay.
And when the can falls and slides, check this out. A little help from the tire
Nice.
changer, a couple feet to the white line. So no
Nice save
penalty on
for the penalty.
22, but a close call, Danielle.
Corey called it safe.
Well, that's
Just
what we call
inside.
dogs on pit road.
You know, around these parts, we call Carl Edwards the Concrete King. We might also call him the Master Psychic because you predicted a wild second stage. We saw a record number of cautions for stage 2 here at Nashville before.
I had no clue it'd be that exciting, though. I mean, and in the 19 to go, watching the 3 leaders up there swapping the lead, I think there were 3 lead changes. Totally unexpected and exciting. Well, don't look now, but the champ is on the front row. And Carl, we know what happens when the 22 gets a sniff of the front row. You're not getting it away, but Team Penske, big down from a tough week last week. Pulled the 12 and the 22 on the front row for this restart.
Pretty impressive to see what Ryan Blaney's been able to do here, guys. And all season long, he's been able to do everything but win. Now he just has to close. We'll see if he can do it. Guys, quickly, Hocevar, the movie made on Ricky Stenhouse.
Well, my new friend here, Carson Hocevar, that was a bit over the line. Right there, there's a price when you race like that. I learned that in
Concrete
2005.
Carl.
They told me, hey, you're building enemies here. Jack Roush sat me down and said, you're not winning this championship. The garage will not let you. He's right on that edge, as Letard said. I hope he wishes he didn't do that.
Sounded like Ricky Stenhouse looking for payback at some point, Adam, but he was asked about, will it happen tonight? He said, no, it was too expensive. I think that goes to the $75,000 fine in the All-Star race.
Green flag.
Here we are, restart final stage. They come through the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. Logano's up there with Blaney. Hamlin taking a look. And one more time, outside lane, William Byron strong in the 24.
Can he make it work? That's way up the racetrack. Able to stay in the gas. Gathers up a whole lane in the 3rd spot for Byron. Great move. Eric Jones battles around the outside, defending a spot from Denny Hamlin.
Saw the penalty for Brad Keselowski. Also a penalty on that cycle for Josh Berry. Here comes Jones again. Penalty for Berry was over the wall too soon. 21 had to restart deep in the field.
Oh, trouble.
60th Breeze
Ryan Priest brings out the caution. So it's a 49-second green flag run, approximately.
Deja vu. This has been something tonight. Last year was chaos in the final stage, but it started early in this race, and I think this will be a long stage 3 with a lot of drama. Like the dirty air. Heard the comment of dirty air, so right there is Priest off into turn 1, out of the gas. Oh, he just loses the back.
So that's the dirty
Kyle Busch is an 8.
Hearing, right? You hadn't experienced that looseness. Gets in there, loses the downforce, comes out of the racetrack.
Yeah, we saw this all last year too in this race. Riding on board. He stands in the gas, so smart. And that really
Hopefully, Jaden.
keeps that car from sliding up into the wall even harder. So he tries to drive the car in the throttle down the racetrack, hoping to lessen that hit or impact with the wall, and he does that.
The day that it happens will be a happy day.
Hoping to not have too much damage.
Be an emotional day, honestly.
When you spin the car around backwards, you want to stand in the throttle and slow down that rate as the car accelerating into the wall.
Just look over at the live points. Stenhouse is there. Priest is there. All of these drivers came in with big question marks when it comes to the standings, and they face some challenges this evening.
Enter for a chance to win the ultimate racing experience. For the grand prize, it includes round-trip airfare for 2 to Atlanta, Georgia. The 2025 Michelin VIP Motul Petit Le Mans Experience Sweepstakes, where you'll enjoy a 3-night stay at the luxurious Chateau Lawn Inn. The grand prize also includes VIP access to the race, as well as $500 in Uber credit for your transportation needs. Scan the QR code to enter now. No purchase necessary in 6/30/25, 18+ age or majority.
Subway's protein-packed footlongs check all the boxes. Juicy chicken or layers of fresh sliced deli meats? Check. All your favorite Subway sauces? Check. Plus, buy any footlong in the app, get another half off. Great deal? Check, check. Order now on the Subway app.
There's a place no map will show you. A secret spot. A high-performance hideout for cars that crave chaos. New brakes? Check. Roll cage? Check. A spoiler so big it doubles as a picnic table? Oh, you bet. Every apex we nail, every second we shave, it's all knowledge that goes right back into your ride. Look like fun? It is. You in?
You can run the perfect race.
Denny Hamlin leading the pack on the final lap.
And then, boom.
Oh, Hamlin's hit. Hamlin is out of it.
That's true in racing and life. When debt hits hard, National Debt Relief helps you take control, so you can pay less than you owe in less time than you think. When life wrecks your finances, National Debt Relief helps you get back on track. Visit nationaldebtrelief.com to get started today.
Documentary now out streaming on Prime. All 4 episodes outstanding, Dale.
Yeah, we're getting tons of great feedback, and everyone who watches it, all my friends, family, everybody texting me, sending me all kinds of great comments about it. Hope everybody will check it out.
And I've known you for years, and I'm learning stuff. It is such a great watch.
And now our Napa know-how moment.
Yeah, right now we're under caution because of the crashes, and you provided you opportunities on these restarts to gain spots, but also to try to survive. We saw last year how many cars did and didn't survive those late race restarts. That'll be important as this race closes into the finish.
Fuel, fuel, fuel. How much you got? How much can you save? A year ago, Joe Logano went 110 laps to win this race. I look at the leaders. I think some are short. Some have more than others.
NASCAR's a beautiful thing, man.
All the way back at 17. Slow pit stop. He might be the only one in the lead lap full of fuel.
And he finished second in this race last year. He's kind of finding his way. Very comfortable at this track. Getting set for the green flag, but we were talking standings, and there's been so much movement. But go right down to the cut line. Priest +2, Buscher -2, Stenhouse at -2, 4 points back, Kosovar, Allmendinger. I mean, it's incredible how tight it is. And look at Kyle Busch, plus 10, got 7 spots on that last hit stop.
Allmendinger started the day.
2015. Oh wait, no, that's playoff standings.
Up to 21st. Like, this could be the day. If he makes the playoffs, they may think all the way back in Nashville and they made it happen. These restarts, Dale, you talked about it.
I think it's
William
8.
Byron has been making this a clinic of 3 wide top in 1 and
Yeah.
2. He did it from row 4. He did it from row 3. Right here, he jumps to the outside of Jones, clears him off the corner. He's starting bottom this time. The question is, did Eric Jones take a note? Will Eric Jones, who's now starting outside row 2, will he take in the outside? NASCAR Insights has Byron #1 on restarts today. It's obvious when you look at the replays.
Well, he's chosen the inside line for this pick and restart, not going to give himself that option.
All right, getting ready to go back green.
Everyone around him or behind him saw him do that repeatedly tonight. Who might jump that outside and make
Here we go.
time tonight on this restart?
FanDuel onboard camera.
Pace car's off.
Behind him. He doesn't lack aggression.
Green flag's back in the air.
Close on lap 200 in Nashville. Logano trying to get away in the double deuce.
101 laps to go.
Here, that red car, 41, Cole Custer. Blaney outside lane. Going to take the 12 car back to the point. Aaron Jones trying to sneak by for second.
And right now, Byron thinking he should have
Oh, we
taken
got a
the
car
top.
that looked like Randy back there just about wrecked.
Damn.
I think he did wreck it. He did spin.
I go back to the 600 last week when he was turned into the wall and somehow was able to hang on to
That
it.
was the holy moly.
It was
the holy moly
You
2.0.
got that right. Holy moly moment, Hail Mary save.
That was a very rough restart.
Blaney's pulled away with the lead.
A lot of the drivers back in the field. The leaders went late in the
Kyle's in
Everyone
9th.
was anticipating it. They accordioned into the back of each other in multiple rows and created a lot of confusion and chaos in the middle of the pack.
Hocevar and Chastain. This is like Chastain racing with Chastain 2.0, isn't it?
Right. Look, we talk a lot about Hocevar, and I think it's easy to pick on where he has fallen short on a few decisions, but what you cannot take away from the 22-year-old is this. It is just natural. As you see a big block from the 43 to the 22.
Man, that is fascinating. The 22 of Logano knows the air around these cars so well. He said he knew the 43 had cleared him, but he set
Logano and Eric Jones side by side.
to create a side draft to swing himself back by the 43.
The racing's incredible. I mean, Blaney's gotten away, side by side for second, side by side for fourth, side by side for sixth. I mean, these guys will not quit on the restart.
You want to know what makes Logano so good? It's the understanding of the air and how to manipulate it. And we're at the point in the race, too, with 98 laps to go. You got to fight for all of these spots. You see all these cars side by side. They cannot allow, they can't give these spots up. It's too late in the race, too hard to get them back.
Look at these drivers, though, in the back part of the top 10. I mentioned Kyle Busch. He had the great pit stop. He's worked his way to the top 10. Bubba Wallace squeezed the penalty early. Driver 23 back in the top 10. They're racing each other right here. And right behind him, Kyle Larson. Not great in practice. Qualifies 28. Nearly a lap down. But 5 has introduced himself to the party. Carson Hocevar radio. He's 7th right now.
Trying to avoid the 11. If they run a normal corner, it'd be fine. But I don't know what the 11 to 43 are doing.
Pretty interesting conversation there. Complaining about some of the drivers out there in front of him, but Hocevar takes the spot away from Chastain in the 6th spot. He's going to try to run down Byron there, and more impressive laps being turned by the 77 car. Blaney up the racetrack, or I'm sorry, Hamlin up the racetrack right there trying to get a run. On the 43, he's looking a little bit low right here, trying to do exactly the same thing the 22 of Logano did earlier on the 43, trying to get that side draft working right on the corner here.
But he's there. He's close enough to affect the 43 straight line speed. You see it as the 43 comes back past the 11.
Nothing he can do about it. And then he's going to drive up the racetrack and try to take his line away. Gosh, that's frustrating. But
Hamlin gets by Jones.
And look what it does. He slows the 43 down. Here comes Byron to the inside. Now the 43's vulnerable.
Now Byron's coming by Jones.
What the 11 did
Not yet. Well,
when you're fighting traffic, leading this
side by side.
Nobody will let you out of the parking lot. He literally just rolled right up in front of him like, no, man, you are not going. I am shutting this air off.
Sometimes the score of the game dictates if you can get out or not.
Kyle's in 10th now.
Yeah, but I'll let you in. Your team loses, you let nobody.
That's right. They're 170 miles an hour. They're bad. Their team lost. We're not doing it. And once again, look at Byron.
Gotta love night racing.
And it doesn't speed the 24 up. It pulls the 43 back.
Love night racing, Rafa.
And Eric Jones, as frustrated as he is, I said this about Hosvar a week ago. I know Jones has more experience, but up here, he is learning so much, Dale, from these guys that run up here so often. These little details that make Byron, Hamlin, Logano just so good.
Yeah, Jones, I think, believes he's a good race car driver that belongs up here. He's just struggled to be able to get the speed out of this 43. But you got to give Jimmy Johnson and this team a lot of credit. They've really worked to try to make hires and improve this team and make changes to get the speed and performance. And I'm really surprised by how Legacy Motor Club has been able to run well this year. Place these cars every now and then, either Nemechek or Jones, finds themselves in the top 10. They run there all night long. This is very impressive for these cars to have this kind of speed.
I had a long conversation with Jimmy about that. He said he knew it was about the people with his experience with Chad at Hendry Motorsports. He just didn't know, Marty, how hard it was to find those people and to build a long-term culture. And that was his goal at Legacy Motor Club.
You see, you guys make a great point. I talked to Eric Jones about that and sort of building what Legacy Motor Club can be. And he said, you know what I love best about it? I have a voice now, and people want to know what my opinion is as we build the team forward. That's very important to me as the team leading driver. I asked his crew chief, Ben Bayshore, what's your fuel situation? He said, we did not wait on fuel. I don't care. I wanted the track.
Eric Jones' crew chief is Ben Bayshore.
Royce Bryant running in the 5th position. I asked Rudy Fugle kind of where they thought they were as we dive into the second half of the regular season. He said the first half we were consistent. We scored a lot of points. We were great. The goal for the second half, keep it up, sneak up, and score some more wins. Currently, William has scored the second most points of the day. They did wait slightly on fuel, not as much as some other drivers, but Rudy said we should be good to go in terms of splitting this final stage.
And here's what you like about William Byron and the opportunity to go out and win races, is they're in this position every week. I know they didn't win last week, but you lead 283, you win 3 stages. Tonight they're in the game top 5 all night long. When you keep doing that, knocking on the door, eventually it opens up. Win number 2, no doubt, is just around the corner. Right now, it's Ryan Blaney leading in Nashville.
The 3 for Me, only at Chili's, is now available with the all-new Big QP, fries, bottomless chips and salsa, and a bottomless drink, all for just $10.99. So if you're McDone with tiny, overpriced burgers, just come to Chili's. This Chili's 3 for Me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
Racing isn't just a game. It's a way of life. Every lap, every moment. Practice is about consistency. Winning doesn't come easy. Yo! My turn, Bubba. You feel the road. Own the race. Logitech G wheels and pedals available now on Amazon.
Every lap, every race, every bit of pain traded for every hard-fought place. They're all jammed inside every can of NOS Energy. Go ahead, open up a can.
To tell you the truth, we could take or leave the extravagance. The attention, the celebrity, the bragging rights, the bravado. Because all we've ever really wanted is for every Ford driver to feel this.
After 17 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series roars back into Mexico. And it's not coming quietly. Saturday, June 14th, live from Mexico City.
Oh my gosh, these fans are amazing.
The temperatures will be hot.
Let's go.
The danger will be high. And the racing will be right on the edge. The NASCAR Xfinity Series, Saturday, June 14th from Mexico City at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on the CW.
85 laps to go. The Cracker Barrel 400 from Nashville. Blaney, Hamlin, Legato, Jones, Byron, the top 5. Throughout Nascar on Prime coverage, you were hearing a reimagined classic, Up Around the Bend, an Amazon Music original by John Fogerty and Eric Church. Listen anytime, as it's available to stream only on Amazon Music. And now our FanDuel race update. What do you got here, Steve?
Blaney, the heavy favorite. You're going to have to bet more money than you're going to win. 115 to win, 100 in profit. Legato, Hamlin, a little bit longer. Byron, there's value up there. I know Blaney is a great car, but man, to think Hamlin and Legato is already this good and you get 4 times your money. This tells me that everybody loves Blaney. You know, you talk about that great around the bend Fogerty. I had to stick that with the commercial with Dale. I'm a little disappointed they didn't put my cut in. I had a good little rendition.
Well, there is a blooper reel. You can see that. You can see that on the Prime Video YouTube channel. If you want to pull it up.
Tyler Reddick trying to climb his way back through the field after losing a lot of spots. Goes around Christopher Bell for 11th. And this is a good little battle top of the screen. The 43 of Jones. He was looking like he was going to put a little pressure on Legato, but here comes Byron trying to find a way around Jones in the 43. And with green flag pit stops still required, the top 10 are within 6 seconds of one another. It's a very difficult pit road to get on and off, so much yet to be decided. And Jones had a fast car, went up there to race Legato, and Legato air blocked him, and he was like, wow, that looks interesting. He hadn't had a lot of experience with being air blocked by Joey Legato in a while. Not with his next gen. That's going to be a tough pass.
You know, I was talking to Carl yesterday. We did a little pace car ride, and I asked him about the residual impact of a bad lap here. Because, I mean, it's so much about rhythm as things get tight off the corner here between these two Toyotas. But once you get blocked, you get out of shape. Now it takes a little bit of time to recover and find your way.
Yeah, that's the problem. Especially on the restarts, if you lose a little momentum by getting in dirty air, everybody takes advantage of you, puts you in bad spots, and it's hard not to lose multiple spots as this battle here continues. Reddick's like, man, I just got the spot. Now he's going to lose it again. Marty.
Stage 3, and look who's in the top 10. Yes, Kyle Larson is sitting in 9th after 7 stops today for this 5 team. A lot of work under caution on this car, going under the front hood at one point to make several large adjustments to the 5 car. And as Cliff Daniels promised,
I said earlier, Larson was still going to get a top 10 after his early issues. He's running 9th right now.
Guess who was the 3rd fastest
The race ain't over, though.
on the racetrack on that last lap? Yes, Kyle Larson. Night not over for the 5 team. And Junior, didn't you start the night by saying this team is scrappy? They'll eventually find a way. Well, they've done it.
Yeah, I didn't think any of us wanted to count them out, and they have done it the hard way. There's not a lot of speed in this race car, but they've been patient and smart. Championship team, this is what you do. This is how you win championships, is taking a bad car and getting a good run with it. Another driver that's having a pretty good night is 41 of Cole Custer, right there in 14th place. You know, Stewart Haas Racing now to Haas Racing. It's been a tough couple of years for this program and this team. We really didn't know what to expect out of this car this year. A lot of turmoil, and they've been able to really struggle on the racetrack and put cars out there trying to figure out what can make Cole comfortable, and they're grinding one out tonight trying to get a top 15 finish. Byron has lost some pace to Jones right there, and Jones has drove away, which I'm a little surprised by that. Jones up the racetrack, and Hocevar is now trying to track down this 24 car on the long run. Trevor. Yeah, a couple spots behind Carson Hocevar, the 23 of Bubba Wallace. Remember earlier in stage 1, he got that speeding penalty and had to come back down pit road, but they have fought back to 8th place here. One of the fastest cars on the track through this segment here. Bubba said, car's really good. I'm just cruising right now.
I would say, too, when things aren't going your way, 3 consecutive finishes outside the top 30, you get the speeding penalty tonight. If you can overcome that and finish in the top 10, and it's that kind of a run that gets you back, does a lot for momentum and adds a lot of belief to the team. And you look at the standings, plus 53 right now.
Yeah, you just would be amazed at what the teams circle on the calendar as the motivating moment of the year, right? We're going to focus on the highlights, the wins, the great runs, great this, but sometimes it's the great recovery, or when your relationship or teamwork's been tested and you've persevered through to have success on the other side. Those can be as important for an organization. Remember, newer crew chief for Bubba Wallace had so much time with Booty Barker on top of the pit box. You know, these type of battles are going to solidify this crew chief. But night of Chase Elliott, though, just has not had the night we'd expect. Currently 17th, working on McDowell right here for 60.
Yeah, he and McDowell both have slid out of the top 10 as the nights went on, and that's what allowed these other drivers like Busch and so forth to be able to get themselves up toward the front of the field. A lot of cars struggling as this race goes on. You see Briscoe down there at 20th, not able to bring that 19 car up back to the top 5 where he started earlier today. Suarez back there behind him, driving the 99, the Tootsie's paint scheme. Yeah, they were out to lunch when this race started, and they worked really hard to be able to stay in this race. I think they'd kind of be happy to be sitting here at 18. Maybe some opportunities late in this race and some restarts like we had last year could turn this into a top 15 or even a top 10 finish.
His first career Xfinity win came at Michigan, where we go next week. But 2 weeks is when they circled the calendar, Mexico City. I cannot wait to watch Mexico City celebrate Daniel Suarez in 2 weeks' time on Prime.
You see on the bottom of the pylon, final pit window open, meaning if you finish here, you
That'll be on my birthday.
No problem on fuel. I only bring that up. These cars, look, I'm going to be honest. We think they can go further. If we think we know how much fuel on here, we're lying. Every crew chief down here is holding those cars close to their vest, how long they were in the pit box. We knew who had slow stops and fast stops, so I know who has more fuel than others. But we don't really know where any of them are at. You see Jonathan Hasser, crew chief for Blaney, right there on the bottom. Blaney's last pit stop, 10.5 seconds. So that should be 14 or 15 gallons. I only say that because this next wave of pit stops, much like last week in the Coca-Cola 600, it was detrimental to Denny Hamlin. That adjustment was magical to Ross Chastain, who came down and ran Byron downhill. Who is going to feed into that? Who believes they're one pit stop away from the perfect adjustment?
And now we get into the fourth quarter of the race. You got to be able to finish the deal. Blaney in position right now. He's in front of Hamlin, Logano, Jones, and Byron. NASCAR on Prime, live in Nashville.
When my doctor gave me Breztri for my COPD, I noticed things changed. Breztri gave me better breathing starting within 5 minutes. It also reduced flare-ups.
Breztri won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. It is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Don't take Breztri more than prescribed. Breztri may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
Ask your doctor about Breztri.
From racetrack to road, Mobile One Motor Oils make whatever you drive more beautifully.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. The heartbeat's strong, steady, unwavering, like the people who keep this country moving, doing what they do best. Helping neighbors, pitching in, getting it done. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. And every Chevy truck, every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Meet the IHOP House Faves value menu. Everything's just $6. Like the breakfast faves combo. $6. French toast breakfast, $6. $6 for all this and all that. That's a lot of breakfast for $6. Weekdays at IHOP.
This is just another round of improv.
We told our bosses that we were about to bring in 3 major players, not a bunch of clowns.
Clowning is an art.
.66 laps to go in Nashville. Let's go to Kim for the Cracker Barrel 400 pit road report.
Yeah, Brian Blaney at the point, lap 2 of this run. He came on the radio and said, should I start saving fuel? They said, yes, if you can, but manage the gap. Here's what he said about 20 laps ago when we saw Hamlin and Logano battling it out.
I need to know what they're doing. Are they pushing or are they saving? No, they're pushing. Let you know if anything changes here.
So Artie trying to shorten up their pit stop, assuming we see a green flag stop for Ryan Blaney. Marty?
Kim, we told you during the last stop, Denny Hamlin had no drink system inside his car, and now also he has no helmet hose either. Listen to the radio.
Helmet hose again. Gotta get the interior of our car right. Unacceptable.
Denny Hamlin obviously not very happy with his team and that those two things inside the car have failed. So, Trevor, the entire stage 3 for Denny Hamlin, he'll have no fresh air and no fresh water either.
Well, Marty, for the 22 car, I've followed them all day. There's been nothing spectacular about this car. Joey's just been mediocre, said he's finding loose on the long run. They're going to work on that. But in typical fashion, Paul Wolf and that 22 pit crew have figured out a way to get track position for Joey Logano, and he's fighting for everything he's got to hang on to it. They've been around 10th on average lap times, though. Lap times are good for Logano. We just heard Kim talk about Blaney saying, hey, should I save fuel? What does everybody else? All of these crew chiefs are watching all the data for all the different teams to know how hard they are pushing. So if we take a peek at Blaney and how much fuel he's burning, take a look at our burn bar, miles per gallon. This is basically a 4.5 miles per gallon is how far the 12 can go. And each team calculates this on all the other competitors. We calculated on all drivers in the field over the first stage, and we kind of get a little bit of a glimpse. If this 12 was trying to stretch it to the finish, we would see that NPG go up. He probably could get to 5.5, even 6 miles per gallon if he was going to stretch this run. But currently, he knows he has some pits, so he's saving a little bit of gas. You see the bar's not full. He's just trying to shorten that next pit stop.
Does all the data add or relieve stress for the crew chief?
Well, it relieves stress when it works, but when it goes away, the stress spikes out of control. Because, you know, it's like your internet at home. It's really, really good till it stops working and then everything crashes. That's what these teams have really leaned on. You know, we talked about Trackhouse and how they came out of the 600 looking really good, made some gains in performance. They haven't had a great season up until the last week or two. This driver right here, this 88, Shane Van Gisbergen, has really shown out the last couple of races. He had pretty good speed last week in the 600.
Top 15?
Yes, he's worked really hard to try to improve on the ovals. Here's another good night. Right there, passing Briscoe, taking away 19th position in this 88.
And hey, 4 of the 13 races, or the next 12 actually after tonight, on road courses, right? But between now and the playoffs, that is a huge opportunity for that group to go out and win a race, put themselves in the playoffs.
Commercial free to the checkered flag. Did they say that?
And Shane was on because of how long would he be allowed to sort of adapt and learn. You're starting to see the performance. You're starting to see the understanding. He knows, you know, his teammates have about the same amount of pace, and he's able to go out there. He didn't have great race cars when this season started. Couldn't learn how to get around here without a great race car. Now they're giving him good cars. Now he's starting to run better and really improve. Good to see.
And that takes me to Trackhouse Big Picture. This is their home track. This is where Justin Marks lives, the entertainment portion of their business set up here in Nashville, Tennessee. This weekend, the group making their 300th start in NASCAR's Cup Series. 3 full-time teams. We talked about the big win in the Crown Jewel last week in the Coke 600. They've done an unbelievable job of growing over there.
All right, talked about how important fuel burn was. We talked about Blaney, Logano, short on pit road. We saw the fuel can trying to stay plugged in. Well, look at him. He's going about 4.8 miles per gallon, so his burn is less. Logano, the master, went 110 laps here last time. He's trying to save more gas than Blaney to try to leapfrog him on the pit stop.
What's up, Marty?
As Ben Bayshore promised, they did not get it full. He said we would pay the price later. That comes right now for Eric Jones. It's been a top 5 car all of stage 3, hitting with 58 to go. They should be able to hit her, obviously make it to the end, but not have to wait too long on fuel. They are going to have to go the second can, though, for Eric Jones. But doing it under green, what's the advantage of that, Steve?
Well, you're just trying to not burn as much time under green because the cars are spread out. When everybody comes at once under yellow, you can kind of leapfrog them on pit road. We're going to see if it works out, though. Hocevar on pit road now, Kim.
Yeah, and their last stop was a little shorter than others, and I asked them if they felt good. They said fuel on the last stop was exactly the number they were aiming for what that's worth. Really happy, though, with the last adjustment. Said it was finally rotating. Bounced and slightly go away.
Here's pit stops.
Run for first Goodyear tires. You see that second can of Sunoco fuel.
After this round of pit stops, everybody can make it.
They've had a pretty good day.
Ross is pitting. Hocevar's pitting. McDowell's pitting.
Nashville, typically a great track for
make green flag.
Logano's pitting.
Blaney 3 seconds in front of Hamlin. Here comes Logano, Trevor.
Joey Logano hitting pit road as well. Felt like the rear of that car was really starting to fade there, so he wanted an adjustment to be able to go after that 12 car. Paul Wolf felt like they got it full, even though that fuel can disconnected at the end. See right there, Jack drops 22 and leaves. That's the efficiency of the stop before, and Logano saving on the track that paid off, Marty.
Back in the game for Kyle Larson. He said his biggest complaint now is too free on the entry of turn 1 for fresh Goodyear tires. Also, Sunoco.
Larson's pitting. He's out. Logano's out. Wallace is in.
Several times into the top 10.
Speaking of recovery, Bubba Wallace's recovery continues. Trevor, in pit road in front of you. Yes, sir. The track tires are freeing up for Bubba Wallace. He wants to be a little bit tighter here. But man, this recovery for this team, you can hear it in his voice. But he's proud of what they're doing right now.
Ty Dillon is in.
That's what I would say to Ryan Blaney. When you make a pit stop here, do not speed. Your advantage, 3.6 seconds. You can't have a miscue in this situation and give up the advantage.
And think of how many cars missed pit road during practice. We saw, what, 5 or 6 cars? Right. Blaney was one of them running the bottom. We'll see when they decide to come. He's kind of catching traffic. Oh, we're going to catch it live.
Blaney's pitting.
Blaney looking left. Tires look good. Nothing.
Riley Herbst is also pitting.
Great smooth entry for Blaney. We'll see if the timing matches the look. He's going to come down to service, chase in front of his crew for the 12. He just cannot.
So is Busher and Elliott.
Tires tight, more importantly, fuel enough to make it to the finish, Kim.
Yeah, and that car for Ryan Blaney, biggest complaint was it feels a little tight on the long run, but it starts to work its way back to neutral. He slides it into the box. The crew's going to go to work. We'll see how long this stop is. Right side tires go on.
Hamlin's the leader. He's going to stay out, lead a lap.
Second can going in, and you saw not a long way on fuel, but a little. Right, we'll see a 10.5-second stop. I think everything's successful for Blaney. He'll go back on the racetrack. I think he has to feel good about it. Now the question is Hamlin, Byron, the other cars up front, what they do. Kid, 19, also on pit road.
Briscoe's pitting. He's out.
Chase Briscoe getting his service with 51.
Bell's pitting.
Christopher Bell in as well.
Kyle's in. John Nemechek's in. Tyler Reddick's in. Zane Smith is in. William Byron is in.
Track is also taking a swing to the tighter side as well, pitting with 50 laps to go here in Nashville.
Denny Hamlin once again staying out.
He makes his pit stop.
Suarez is in. Custer is in. Todd Gilliland is in.
Rudy Fugle had told his driver, we are going to go a little bit long on this. Just Byron complaining tight, late entry to center, loose off. He just needs it to last longer for these last 50 laps, is what he told the crew.
See right here, Blaney going down into turn 1. Byron still leaving pit road. I show you, normally we show this very close.
Byron and Custer are out.
Because right
Suarez is
here,
out.
Just what you want him to do, Adam. No trouble on and off pit road. Very, very clean. It's really just a question of the cycle now. Hamlin out here running
Todd
long.
Gilliland's out.
He wants a caution because Logano's a lap down. Blaney
Hamlin's still yet to pit. So is Syndic. Hamlin, Syndic, SVG, Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski, Josh Berry, Ryan Preece, Ty Gibbs, and Justin Haley have all yet to pit. They're all on the first tonight.
Get an untimely caution in the middle of the cycle. Hamlin, Cindric, SVG, Austin Dillon, Keselowski, all those guys up there at the top have not made a stop.
I mean, you ask yourself, Hamlin is 3.5 seconds back. Do they have an ace up their sleeve? Do they think they'll be able to have a much shorter pit stop? Are they just hoping for the yellow that I talked about? We heard that report from Marty, the driver. You see him visor up. No air getting to the helmet. Look at those eyes. I'm not sure he's blinked since we've been watching him right here. He is absolutely focused.
Marty?
Yeah, with no air to the helmet, that's why Denny Hamlin has his visor up as well. So Chris Gale's Hail Mary here, Steve, to make up those 3.5 seconds is he wants Denny Hamlin to, quote, run it to the switch till it's all the way out. They can flip a switch. They have a little bit of a reserve tank, and Hamlin will do that. Go as far as they can go, hoping that somehow he can make up these 3.5 seconds.
Not just somehow, but the question of fuel on board will be answered.
Is it hose of our time? Maybe.
He then knows exactly how many laps he has to run to the finish.
I'd love to see it.
Gallons, that's all they'll be in the pit box for. There'll be no guesswork. There'll be no extra fuel. We are talking quarts. We aren't measuring in the gallons. We're measuring in the quarts at this point.
Chris Gale, first-year crew chief with Denny Hamlin. They've won twice this year. And Hamlin making his 700th career start here tonight.
So look at the burn bar, 4.7 miles per gallon. I think some of that is just the older tires. He can't burn as much fuel because he doesn't have the grip. I think he's probably going as hard as he can, although Hamlin is so good at sending hand out the window. There it is.
Hamlin's pitting.
Right here. Let's see what Hamlin does, how much fuel they need.
You heard the car stumble.
He might have been out.
Saw Blaney go by, and that'll be the race when Hamlin comes up and the 12 coming back around.
Absolutely. The 12 has to finish his lap. He has a whole lap to make up. The question now is, what do they have? I'm assuming 4 tires, but is it a 9-second pit stop? We've seen a lot of 10.5, Marty.
Let's watch the time here, to your point, Steve, and that was very
Hamlin's
well
pitting.
timed for the 11 because
Ryan Preece is pitting. Chad Fincham is pitting.
radio live. Now they're going to waiting just a little bit. Chris Gale finally says go. We'll see where he cycles out with the 12 car.
So he's going to cycle out behind the 12 cars with the start and finish now. But remember, he also has a little bit fresher tire. Will that pay off over the last 44 laps? So there goes to become the race leader. There are other cars who haven't pitted. So Blaney, first car to make it on fuel, on board with Hamlin. There's Hocevar in the 77. Great shot. Hamlin sees that too. He's like, oh man, I got to get the 77. He knows these other cars he has to go, but out in front of Logano, out in front of Jones, out in front of Byron. So the pit stop cycle for Hamlin running long pressure tire, yet didn't lose a lot of positions on the racetrack. I think that's a plus for Gale. Now he has at least a plan or a chance to outrun Blaney if his car falls off.
Yeah, Blaney's well clear, and you saw Hocevar go by. Hocevar has actually run a little bit quicker than Blaney on some laps. 43 laps to go. He's got quite a distance to be able to run down that 12 car. Several cars still to come to pit road, Marty.
This is twice tonight that Brian Wilson and Austin Cindric have played this long strategy, trying to do it here in stage 3 with 42 to go. Now, the interesting thing for Cindric is that the car was stuck in 5th gear for much of the end of that run. He said he can downshift, but he has to use the clutch, so he's been busy behind the wheel. We'll see how this exit of pit road looks like. It looks pretty clean there for a guy who's been struggling with a transmission this evening.
And Dale, using the clutch to downshift has to be so foreign to these guys. They don't have to do it any other time, right?
Yeah, for sure. Another lap right there where Hocevar just about almost half a second faster, or sorry, a couple tenths faster than Blaney.
And they did such a good job in the cycle.
Yeah.
Look at all this talking about Hamlin, and we were talking about Logano, and here's the 77. It was 6th when the cycle began, Dale.
Right, so is he the Chastain tonight? Remember last week we were talking about Hamlin and fuel and all these things, and next week we blinked, and Chastain was on the scene with the fastest car here, right? Has Hocevar found that magic to run down Blaney? And he's again a little bit quicker than Blaney in the last lap.
Pretty impressive.
Second-year driver, won a truck race here a couple of years ago, did Carson Hocevar.
Looking at your pylon, Dylan Keselowski, Barry, all running, looking for this yellow. You see a little bit slower lap time on the pylon. That's because they're stretching it. They need to pit. I love this call for all three. Keselowski has admitted we need to win a race at this point. I think Dylan feels like a win would be the best thing for these guys to make the playoffs, the best guarantee. So we're really focused on fourth, Blaney, who we believe will be the leader when the cycle finishes. But the
fuel mileage or how far they can go on a tank, they have to be coming close to the end of that tank. So they're going to be praying for this caution to be coming in the next 5 laps or so, if not sooner.
Think about the way Austin Dillon has won some races in his career, been very creative. I go back to that first career win, Coke 600 2017, when they played the fuel mileage game. He's out front right now, Trevor.
Yeah, the 3 cars trying to make it to about lap 269. That's their window. They want to really make it to, but Austin Dillon's loving that clean air right now. And right behind him, the 6th car, Brad Keselowski. Remember last week he hit that crew member on pit road, got a penalty. Today had the issue with the 42 and the 67. So another day where the issues just keep arising for that 6 team when they have a fast race car.
38 to go.
Josh Berry up there as well, trying to overcome the penalty. Third driver in that line, hanging on before making the pit stop.
Hamlin is making up time. Hocevar is making up time. This is why. Blaney has run into the back of traffic. The 42 of John Hunter, not doing anything wrong, but it has become very challenging for the 12 car to make lap time because of this traffic. Behind him, and the 77. Look at the onboard camera. I mean, that is as clear as you're ever going to get in a track this size. He's making up time left and right. Hamlin doing the same thing, who's behind Hocevar. You really, Dale, comes down to, can Hocevar get through traffic cleaner? Yeah, it's not just this 1 or 2 cars. There's about 6 or 7 cars right here in front of Blaney that he's going to have to find his way by, and his lap times are struggling because of it.
How much of that is racing luck versus managing?
Austin Dillon is leading at the moment.
When you exit, you're going to have some clean racetrack to work with.
A little bit of both, and I think this is when the veteran champion of Ryan Blaney is what they want to lean on. He can be emotional on the radio, but I don't see that hurt his lap times, and I think at this point, he just needs to focus at the 42. He gets emotional because his IQ of racing is so high, he knows what's happening behind him. He doesn't need an update. Last lap on the racetrack, you run a 30.27, Hocevar 30.12, Blaney at 29.95. Oh, the 12, big loose, big moment right there. And that shows us, what shows us he's pushing everything he's got. There's nothing left in the tank right there. He's running the lap time to the max, pushing the car, trying to get by the lap traffic, getting more and more frustrated every corner. And this is Nemechek. Nemechek's already 1 lap down. Look at the time that Blaney's losing here. And just remind everybody, left side, look at the difference in tires over here, right? Blaney 18 laps, Hamlin only 10. It's 8 laps pressure, but at this point of the race, it all matters. Look at this slide, Dale. It's a really big moment inside the car. And we saw many cars get loose on entry. It's really wild. And listen to in-car radio here.
Oh my God. One down, so he's not giving it up. So you don't want to beat dogs. Try and keep digging here. Doing everything I can to get you help. So I just throw him off the stand.
He wants to throw his spotter off the stand. That was a spotter talking to Blaney.
Tim Fita was an outstanding spotter. He was a racer. I mean, he knows what this is all about.
He's a great race car driver. He's the kind of guy you want up on top of the stand that knows what it's like to be inside that car and how to calm you down, because that's great for Blaney to know he relates to what I'm feeling. I just need somebody to say, man, I know how you feel, all right?
But, you know, Fita will work forever with Harvick. And when Harvick retires, he comes over and now he works with Ryan Blaney. He has really found the sweet spot.
And now we're at that emotional point where that bright yellow Menards paint scheme is so good for a spotter, but it is absolute motivation for Carson Hocevar. Because here you are on board, but look up in the distance. You see that bright yellow paint scheme. Hocevar knows that's the guy. He has the clean air. He can see it. He can taste it. All of that, you know, rough driving, everything people call him out, wins, make it all go away. If he can win the race, it proves to Carson that his style is working.
And now this is truly the battle for the lead, because Keselowski made a pit stop, so did Barry, so did Austin Dillon. Everything is cycled through. Blaney just under 3 seconds in front of Hocevar, and Hamlin inside of 4 seconds back.
Blaney just about 3/10 slower than Hocevar. Still trying to get through lap traffic, but behind Blaney, look at all these cars. That's the cars. And now Hocevar has to find his way through. And then he will slide into the clutches of Hamlin, who has better tires. Here's riding on board the FanDuel camera on the roof of Hocevar's car. Those better tires, you point out, Dale, I think it's more than lap time. You know, we talk tires aren't a huge advantage. I don't think they are just how fast you can go, but I do think it makes a big difference on how fast you can pass. I think those fresher tires allow you to get the car to that quarter panel that we've been talking about and make the passes quicker.
29 laps to go. Less than 15 minutes time a day for Blaney to ride this thing out and get his first win of the year. All of his teammates have already been to victory lane this year.
Blaney was 3/10 slower that lap. And so when they came back out on the racetrack in the middle of the pit cycle, it was about 4, maybe a little more than 4 seconds between these two drivers. It's now down to 2.5 seconds. The traffic, though, in front of Hocevar is going to really challenge him to continue to close that gap. And here comes that blue car back there, Denny Hamlin. He's mad, he's hot, uncomfortable.
By the way, early congratulations to Denny Hamlin and his fiancee, Jordan.
28 to go.
Expecting a baby boy anytime. We didn't even know Hamlin was going to race here tonight, right?
Yeah.
So he goes home, could have a new baby here this week, and we all want congratulations before it even happens.
This will be a battle here shortly. The 77's going to start to struggle a little bit with those cars in front of him. Sometimes, though, once you're a lap down, I don't know if you mean to, but I've seen drivers kind of just give up, not give up, but allow a driver pass easier than the leader. Because remember, when Blaney passes you, that's putting you a lap down. Hocevar and Hamlin, you're already a lap down.
Hocevar is now struggling, running 30-30s. He's lost about 2/10 in the last lap or two to his lap time.
But Hamlin not. Still a 30-18 out of Hamlin. 26 laps is an eternity at this point at this racetrack. At a track that Carl's been telling us all weekend, the king of concrete, how slippery, how one overdrive costs you so much time.
Byron and Jones going at it, as they have multiple times tonight. Bubba Wallace right behind them, sitting there in the 7th spot. Would love to get 2 more spots, make his night even better.
Great comebacks for Wallace and Larson.
Wallace hasn't finished in the top 30 in the last 3 races.
Commercial tree.
Losing tons of points to the bubble or the cut line. And
closed off at 88 SVG. Had a great run last week. 14th in the Coca-Cola 600, NASCAR's longest race. Well, look at this big correction. Bad arrow spot. Big loose. That was almost the yellow that Blaney didn't want. Currently running in the 24th position. That got his attention without a doubt.
He crossed the wake of that lap car. It's like just shutting all the downforce off of the car immediately, like a big light switch. Now Blaney's got some traffic in front of him. All of these cars lined up. They're not going to be easy to pass. It's kind of got all this stalled out right now.
It really does. The accordion was squeezed together.
Look at Hocevar running second. Michigan native. Michigan next Sunday. What a homecoming it would be if you return to your home state to race and you picked up your first career cup victory. 23 to go.
Hocevar's doing a great job. And as he tries to approach this lap traffic, he just needs to keep that in mind. Like, hey, obviously we want to go up here and try and win this race, but we also need to finish. If we got a second place car, we need to bring it home in second.
That same exact thought is what I think the 23 of Bubba Wallace have. You talked about it early, this horrendous run of finishes for 23-11, and specifically Bubba Wallace. I mean, look at that, 35th, 33rd, 33rd. I thought it all came apart today when he had a penalty on pit road, but here he is back in 6th. What a recovery out of this 23 car. It may only look like a top 5 at the end of the day. He was able to get Byron in front of him for 5th, but it could have been much worse, and a much-needed swing of momentum after the final 3.
That 8th place finish in Talladega, the only top 10 for the organization. The last 5 races at 23-11.
And Danny put him on notice. He wants to see more out of the organization. So Bubba responded today.
Reddick was great last week, had the speeding penalty. He's had some problems here tonight. He's 11th right now as we hit 21 laps to go in the race.
And that last lap,
Kyle's in 12th.
A little chunk out of it. Oh, the 3 car way up the racetrack right there on the outside of turn 1 and 2. He's going to get the car gathered up and back down the racetrack. But Hocevar, even in this traffic, is
as far as catching him a little, like, no, not really.
A little bit.
Well, remember earlier in the day, we heard a lot of people talking about brake fade, brake shake, brake issues. 81 lap run where they're absolutely pushing the harness. Still have 21 laps to go. So if we run this green to the finish, it'll be the longest thing. See right here, oh, just a big lift moment for the 3. You wonder if that's a braking thing, that's why I bring it up. You're messing with the balance, you're tired, everything's bad.
So many people have got loose on entry. It's been wild to see him save some of those slides.
Don't tell Blaney about any of this. I mean, he'd have a heart attack behind the wheel because he does not want a caution here.
No, I'm hopeful that they're telling Blaney, look, the lead's kind of flattened out a little bit, and they're in the same amount of traffic that you are. What you're feeling, they're also
18 to go.
Back there behind the cars that they're chasing. 19 laps to go. Actually, the lead is growing a little bit.
That's a good point, Dale. Don't let you and I talk about this a lot with strategy. Hey, let the driver know what the plan is. Well, now it's not about strategy. Now it's about perspective. Let's try to reduce the anxiety of the driver who it must feel like he is getting killed on time because the 88's not getting any closer. He wants to go by him. So just, hey, man, this is the gap. You're doing great.
You talk about the level of concentration. We're on an 84-lap run here with a green flag.
Yeah, Blaney's last one was Martinsville last year.
So you have to execute. The margin for error
Fall race.
The 12 is
Second to last race of the year.
Yeah, and right now Ryan Blaney has been quiet on the radio. The majority of the chatter has been from his spotter, Tim Fedewa, just giving him the lap cars that are in front, what he's going to have to do to get around them. But let's look at Carson Hocevar running that second position. Yes, would he love to win this race? Absolutely, but bigger than that, they have been fast this year. they just have not had the finishes to show for it. Variety of issues, 2 fuel pumps, 2 engines, some bad luck with green flag stops. A lot of stuff has gone wrong. And Carson told me he always goes into these races in the last 50 to 80 laps thinking what's going to happen now. So a second place finish, despite losing a win, would still be a big day for this team.
You know, Tim, it's a great point of what the 77s endured. That heartbreak last week when the engine expired after such a great 2/3 of the Coca-Cola 600. But Dale, you and I talked about it, Adam. You know, that experience. We can talk about simulators and studying and notes and all those things, but sometimes you just have to do it. And last week he did it. And you see hand out the window right here. I think he's just thanking maybe for somebody who's letting him go. Oh, he's waving the 3-by right here. Yeah, so right there, I think only 4 off the cut line.
Yeah, the 3 pitted so much later. He's got a little bit better tire, so he's trying to let it go by. He must know that he's struggling with the comfort of his race car, and he doesn't, you know, doesn't want that 3 back there pestering him a little bit. He's trying to maintain this spot. He knows that Denny's coming and close it in.
15 to go.
He was like, what are you doing?
Great help with the 3. Racing Insight has given us the numbers on Blaney. First on long run speed. Overall speed outstanding as well.
I told you the host of our camera. Yeah, hand signals. We got it all. Carson's got it all.
15 laps to go.
No. And I think he's going to become a fan favorite. I think some are going to really not like him. If you're a Ricky Stenhouse fan, you probably don't love Carson Hocevar today. But if, you know, people like personality, and Carson Hocevar does not lack in personality.
I would say he's found the balance, but if we're being honest, he's crossed the line a lot. Not afraid, not apologetic.
He comes home at 9:15 a lot. Well, the actually misses his curve.
Nine's not over yet. He's still got to hold off this 11 car of Denny Hamlin. I think the 77's kind of stalled out here in traffic. Now he's riding on board the relief camera with Denny. He's not closed the gap as quick as I thought he would because he pitted so late and he's got a little bit of a tire advantage, but going to try to use this traffic. See if he can't get this second position away.
Dale, you and I know, though, when we get to that point in the race where we're trying to show you all the battles we see around the racetrack, but there are 1,000 of moments that we just saw with Horseman, hands going in the air. Who are at this racetrack is so frustrated with the guy in front of them that their patience is just going to snap with 12 to go.
Right there, what we saw, Denny goes to the top of the racetrack. Hey, I'm going to get some clean air. It didn't work. Hocevar actually gained time on him. What's happened is we've gotten late into this race, it's gotten bottom dominant. The track's cooled off, and the cars now are feeding down the racetrack to where the grip and the speed is. You can run that higher line, but it's not as fast just because it's 4 feet. And so where that was working for these teams early.
So yeah, lots of caution comes out. I don't think Hocevar is going to catch a Blaney.
Late in this race, so this will be a tough pass for Denny. A good little battle right here between these 3. Chastain, Christopher Bell, Reddick trying to claw back into it. Seen these 45 and 20 side by side too many times for the last several laps as they keep going at it. They're kind of both hung up behind the 1, and they keep trading the spot back and forth between each other. Multiple laps side by side.
Chastain's not going to win 2 in a row, it wouldn't appear. But when you think about their performance connecting Saturday to Sunday, really, really finding a good space is that one team.
Well, you talk about performance, you know, when it matters most. How about the pressure week? Well documented, Denny Hamlin has a baby on the way. Due day, I think this weekend. He's here. It's also a 700th career start. And look at this list. The who's who of 700 starts from the Ironman Ricky Rudd at 8, Bobby Allison, Rusty, Harvick, Richard. And no one's ever rang the bell. No one's ever gone to victory lane on their 700th career start. Denny Hamlin, currently 3rd. He would match Jeff Gordon back in Darlington, May 2013. It would be a heck of a name. You know, he's going to be on the list. It's just a question is what's the number that's going to be next to his name.
Hey, win or not, at 44 years old, he's already won a couple of times this year. What this guy is doing is just remarkable over such a long period of time. Talking about Denny Hamlin, 3rd right now. Got the fastest lap tonight. You see the stopwatch in our pylon. Xfinity will pay a point at the end of the evening for that. 8 laps to go for Blaney.
Bottom of the screen there. Looked like Reddick was putting the fight to Chastain for position. Oh, the one. Chastain loses a little bit of grip off turn 2 there. Here comes Reddick to the inside. This is for 9th. Just not the night we expected out of Chastain, but still, you know, coming off running in the top 10 all night with Trackhouse. I know they wanted more, but they've struggled this year. They're making some gains. We're talking about SVG running better over the last several weeks at the ovals. Suarez back there in 14th. Might lose another spot here to Christopher Bell. Looks like one car has just lost all the tires here late in the race.
This is that moment of the race where I know drivers take absolute pride that they can find just a little more with 7 or 6 to go, right? Try to hold that one guy off or go get that 1 point. Oh, this is going to get tight to 66. Bell's going to try to use the pick, but 66 does a nice job. Just pulls right.
6 laps to go.
Ross fires it off down in turn 1, trying to hang on that outside. He's going to be able to do it down the back straightaway here. And behind him, Kyle Busch in that number 8 car. This thing had the hood up and like a second pit stop, but Justin shocks, and here he is at 12th. They had a rough couple of weeks.
You think about everything that's
A rough fucking
where they are in relation to
year
that
and a half.
line. If they could just get
Almost
on
2
the
years
positive
now.
side of it, all of a sudden, second half of the regular season could be good to them. But his only top 5 this year came on the road course in Austin, Texas, Circuit of the Americas. With all these road course races, maybe that's a chance for the 8 to get it going in the right direction. 5 to go in the event tonight.
Yeah, you got to credit Kyle Busch. Always maintaining a good attitude and fighting hard in that 8 car and giving them a shot, right? They're a team that's kind of struggled to be able to put the pace out there, but he gives them a chance every time he gets behind the wheel.
Now there's the point where the last thing Ryan Blaney wants to hear is about a caution. He wants to see that white flag, get this race official.
We saw this car in practice, phenomenal lap times. The cars all practice in 2 groups, so it's kind of hard to really tell who's great, but this 12 car stood out. They've had a lot of speed all year long. Some issues, blown motors, things like that not allowed them to get the win and get the finishes that they deserve. But you mentioned it earlier in the weekend, Steve. You got that speed. That's the hardest thing to obtain. Just keep focused, because if you keep showing up to the racetrack with fast race cars, nights like tonight happen.
Yeah, 10th full-time season, right, was the champ back in 23. 13 wins. And those disappointments, those DNFs, I think if he's fortunate enough to lead for these last 2 laps, we're going to see an emotional celebration out of this 12 team, because it's
2 to
easy
go.
to say the DNFs don't matter until you have the win. Then they really don't, because then you're playoff bound, then you can kind of just free wheel it. After they have won, it wouldn't surprise me if this 12 car
Lap and a half to go.
Reference the championship in 23.
Here comes Ryan Blaney.
Win last fall at Martinsville to make the championship 4 a season ago.
Ryan Blaney has not won since the second to last race of last year, but there is 1 lap to go. White flag is in the air.
Now Blaney can cruise. Only driver at Team Penske that's winless so far this year. They came to play tonight.
Ryan Blaney was really great in the second half of this race, and he is going to do it. He is going to get his first win of the year. He's going to lock himself into the playoffs. And Ryan Blaney is going to win at Nashville Superspeedway in Lebanon, Tennessee. That was about a 52-minute green flag run.
Back-to-back wins in Nashville for Team Penske. Last year, that 5-overtime thriller, Joey Logano gets it, goes on to win the championship this year.
Yeah,
we end the race
I appreciate that comment, Jaden.
102 consecutive laps under green, and on the long haul, number 12 knocks it out of the park.
And the spotter, congratulations to the spotter, Tim Fedua. This is a new partnership.
Pretty impressive, the speed that the Penske Fords have had this year. Usually we see this team sort of come on around the playoffs when it really matters, but they have shown some really great speed. That's got to have the rest of the field on notice, because we know they're going to keep getting better toward the end of the year for that playoff run.
They're ahead of schedule. Went 0 for 14 to start the season a year ago, and all 4 of their cars have won this year when you put Josh Berry in the mix, because the Wood Brothers partnership at Team Penske, and he's going to salute the fans. A sellout crowd tonight in Nashville. Blaney get to victory lane. Career wins for Blaney. 5 races at Nashville, 5 different winners, and we've now had 9 winners in 2025. The playoff field is over half full.
Ryan Blaney, the winner at Nashville, burning it down.
Team Penske as an organization, tied with Junior Johnson and Associates for 4th on the all-time list.
And now we can officially say welcome to the 2025 playoffs, Ryan Blaney.
Here's Ryan Blaney. After his win at Nashville Superspeedway in Lebanon, Tennessee.
The trek to Nashville early this week, and he leaves with a spot in the playoffs, a checkered flag and a trophy. He'll find a young fan in the stands once he gets this flag to hand it to, usually looking for a Ryan Blaney shirt, of course. And why not go in the stands?
He's going in the stands.
Delivered personally by the race winner to that young fan. Well, I'll tell you, Ryan, after another frustrating week last weekend in Charlotte, were you beginning to wonder, is this ever going to happen, that you would get to the playoffs with a win?
I never gave up hope, that's for sure. And, we've had a great speed all year. It just hasn't really, been the best year for us as far as good fortune. But the 12 boys are awesome. They stick with it no matter how it goes. And it was great to finish one out tonight.
How much did the game change for you guys on the 12 team when Hassler made the call for the 2-tire stop at the end of stage 1 and you got all that track position?
Yeah, I thought it was a good call. We drove up to 7th there in the first stage. I thought 2 tires were great. I thought my car was really good, and that really set us up for the rest of the race. So great job by him as always. All the 12 boys, appreciate what they do. Pit crew is great. Appreciate Menards, Cardell, Ford Motor Company, Rush 8's engines, Just Count Tire, Wabash, Worth, Snap-on Decks, Imaging, Body Armor, a lot. Advanced Auto Parts. Everything what they do, it's nice that it's finally happening. So I'm ready to go celebrate.
Now, normally you don't do burnouts after a win, but Corey LaJoie loves to grade burnouts. So I'm sure he's very happy you gave him one.
I didn't think it was very good, but I don't know. Did the crowd like the burnout or not?
There you go.
They liked it, so that's all that matters.
They liked it, and Corey will grade it here in a little bit. Ryan Blaney wins in front of this sold-out house here at Nashville Superspeedway.
Unbelievable team win. Weekend, what a night for Ryan Blaney. Wins the stage, leads 139 laps, execution down the stretch, and he's able to secure his first win of 2025. Another great result for Blaney, but another great result too for young driver Carson Hocevar. We've seen the speed out of this kid, and solid run to bring it home in second place. And how disappointed must Denny Hamlin be? Every time he comes to Nashville, he's one of the best cars, if not at times the best car. Again, falls a little short. And when Hocevar looks at second, he might be disappointed until he sees Blaney in front, Hamlin, Logano, Byron behind. That's an impressive top 5 to be included within. Hocevar, the youngest full-time driver in the field. Hamlin, the oldest. They're second and third, behind 31-year-old Ryan Blaney, who gets it done tonight. Danielle?
Yeah, Double A, and the roar of the crowd here behind us, Carl and Corey. You said, Corey, this is a popular win. Those fans were fired up.
Oh, the fans were going nuts. Like Grandma says, that was old school butt whipping there tonight, Carl.
Yeah, it was. And, last week we got to see a real hard work
over a 24-hour period. And I think what you're seeing here is a lot of hard work all year. We talked about how fast that Penske 12 has been all year. Then to finally put it together, you can see happiness and relief. You know, Ryan Blaney punched his ticket. They're right where they need to be. Huge turnaround for Penske. I know everybody's going to be pumped at Ford Motor Company going to Michigan next week.
Alrighty, y'all.
A real feel-good.
I'm going to end this shit right here. It was a fun day today.
Are you happy? Are you excited?
At the Red Sox. Red Sox won 3-1. And then
what kind of pressure does
the race was fun. Ryan Blaney won.
His other teammates win already this season.
Prime broadcast was great once again.
You know, in his case, I don't know what it feels like to be a champion, but he's a champion. They're running well.
And yeah, here's the stream schedule for next week. I'm gonna post it here.
And you feel like you have a weight on your back. And he's won a lot. He's driving by us going to victory lane. This is gonna be fun.
I'm gonna post it right here, right after I read it.
But my sense is watching him there, this win is special. And as this week goes on, he gets to relax and say, hey, 12 more races. We're gonna go win another championship.
Damn.
It really is a relief.
Yeah, heck of a way to start
I'm
the second half
burping
of the
much.
regular season, Corey.
Well, when we see somebody punch their ticket, they know they're live.
But tomorrow at Fenway Park will be the Angels and the Red Sox. I'll be live at 7 p.m. for that game. That game starts at 7:10. Tuesday is the exact same thing. The Angels play the Red Sox. I'll be live at 7 p.m. when the game starts at 7:10.
31-year-old Ryan Blaney.
Wednesday, the Red Sox do play, but I will not be live for it, and I will not be live at all on Wednesday. I will not be streaming. There will be nothing that I'm streaming that day.
From Victory Lane, presented by Mobile One. We're back after this.
Thursday, I'll be live for NBA Finals Game 1. I'll be live at 8:20 for that. And then Friday, I'll be live at 6:55 for Red Sox and Yankees. And then Saturday, I'll be live for Michigan Trucks at 11:50 a.m. And then I'll be live for Red Sox and Yankees at 7:20 p.m. First pitch for that game will be at 7:35. And then next Sunday, I'll be live for the Michigan Cup race at 1:45 p.m. So yeah, I'm going to post that right now. And then I'll end the stream. Alright, it's posted. Alrighty, y'all. I want to thank you guys for watching. Congrats to Ryan Blaney.